Unique New York.
Schenectady was a movie I didn't like. It's an actor practice.
Well, you guys ready to get started?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me for episode 14 of the PearCast. I'm Dan Eggers, and for the first time in a long time, I can say, joining me in the room, to my left, I have Paige Eckstein.
Hi.
Sitting across from me, we have Connor Potts.
Hello.
This guy.
And then sitting directly across from me, we have Chris Brimmer.
Which
This
is
guy.
Yes.
All of us in the same room. It's been a long time since we've all been here. But we're here. We're here to deliver you some of this month's funniest news stories. Then we got our Google one-star reviews. And we're going to wrap it up with Connor's Conspiracy Corner.
Cryptid Corner this week.
Corner.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this
I'm so
week's
excited.
conspiracy. But we got to start with the news. You guys ready to get into our first news story?
Yep.
Let's do it.
So 10 days ago marks the official day that we can imprison George R.R. Martin if he doesn't finish Winds of Winter.
I'm just
Connor's been Googling some Game of Thrones jokes.
okay.
They're
So
good.
let's get through this intro really quick.
Let's
Dan,
get, let me.
we've all watched the show. Dan and Chris have not read any of the books. Connor's read some of the books, and I've read all of the books. And at this point, I am just absolutely fucking sick of George R. R. Martin talking about it at all. Like, I don't even want to hear about it unless it's to tell me that there's a book out. Like, I don't. It just makes me angry because I forget about it, honestly, which is maybe why he keeps bringing it up. But then he just reminds me that it's not fucking out yet.
Why can't George R. R. Martin use Twitter?
Why?
He killed off all 140 characters.
Good one.
Thanks.
So
Jokesforus.com.
Chris and I have
Proud
both.
sponsor of this podcast.
Chris and I have both watched the show. We've all watched the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
episode of
we've
the
all
show.
watched it.
We don't really like how it goes, but towards the end, right?
No.
But Paige has read all the books. Connor's read some of the books. How long has this book been in the process of being made?
A very long time.
Yeah, like when. So the last book that came out was right around when the show started, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something like there.
Yeah. So
7 years? 8 years?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up real
Yeah.
fast.
Who the fuck waits for anything that long?
What was the most recent one that come out? What
I
was
feel
that?
like
Dance with
it's like
Dragons?
it's the
What was it?
cinematic
Dance with
equivalent of
Dragons,
Duke Nukem
right?
Forever, which
It
took.
Dance
But that came
with
out.
Dragons.
It did. It took
Forever.
15 years.
Is that the fifth book? Because I have
Yeah.
all 5 in
Yeah,
a box
yeah.
set. So
Dance with Dragons.
Jo-
I'm pretty sure it's the fifth one.
that
J.R.R. Martin
was
has zero.
J.R.R. Martin.
George.
J.R.
Listen, DJ Jazzy's Jeff does
Yeah.
not
Were
know
you
what he's
confusing
gonna
her
do.
with J.R. Tolkien?
Yes, I was.
2011 was when the
yeah.
fifth book came out.
Wow.
And he still has 2 more
Yeah,
to put
but
out.
so that's the other thing
Yeah.
that's so infuriating is this isn't even the last fucking book. He's
This
got
is
another one.
He's
Winds
not
of
gonna write
Winter, and
any
then
of
there's
these
like
books.
Song of Spring or something like that.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's not going to
Yeah.
do any of it.
He's going to do it. I
Nope.
think he's going to do it.
He's not.
Why do you think he's not?
I think he's gonna fucking die.
He's a comfortable old man who
'Cause I
doesn't
think you
care.
said
He's going to
this.
run out the clock. He's like, you know what? All I have is things to lose. There's all this hype. There's all this expectation. He doesn't give a shit. His life doesn't get better if he writes great Game of Thrones books. But it gets no matter
It
what he
can't get
does, some
worse.
people are going to shit on it.
Yeah.
Because the hype and the expectation is so high. He has no incentive to deliver.
But if he keeps waiting this long, the hype will die down,
Hey,
and
you ever
people
been
won't give a shit.
You ever been a
Chris just bumped into a light.
This is what I'm saying. George R. R. Martin has like some
It's
fan-
J.R.
J.R.R.
J.R.R.
Martin.
J.R.R. Tolkien Martin. But George Martin has zero interest, right? And he does. It's a lot of work. He
Yeah.
has more money he's ever had in his life.
It's just gonna make people angry.
He can eat all of the Italian meats he wants to, which, judging from the look of him,
There's a
that's-
lot of capicola.
Is that how we?
gabagool?
Is that,
Gabagool.
It's the gabagool.
Yeah,
is
he's
that
got an
how we
estate-
judge wealth now? Is
That's-
how much Italian meat?
He's it's by how much acreage and Italian meats you have.
The problem is that's
How
what
much
killed
stainless
Tony
steel?
Soprano.
Yeah, it did.
R.I.P.
That's true.
And that's what's going to kill George R. R. Martin.
But he had a
Either
lot
that
of
or
Italian
meat.
meats money.
Yeah.
Looking at George
He
R. R.
also
Martin,
how much side note, how much Italian meat do you think James Gandolfini ate while he was filming The Sopranos?
every season his own body weight.
Yeah.
And that's what killed him.
Guarantee you that's what killed him.
They might as well just packed him in salt and sent him to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean in terms of longevity. But for real, George R. R. Martin, he's probably got like an awesome house and everything he's ever wanted. And all if he finishes those books, all he's going to get is people on the internet telling him what he did wrong.
what they're not happy
Yeah.
about, what
You
they
know.
don't like.
Yeah, no matter how
But-
good they are. So there's no
No
reason for
incentive.
him
The
to
thing
finish.
about that is that now he has this version of it that's already been finished, so he knows what not to do.
Yeah,
Right.
because people
So-
hate
People
it.
are
and you know,
pissed.
I'd like
Everybody's
to
been
think-
very vocal with what they hate.
I'd
They're
like
really
to think
mad.
that he probably does want to finish it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I think he
think
does.
that
It's his
because of
baby.
how much he's put into it, he probably truly has no fucking idea what to do with it.
yeah.
Right.
Because there's a lot. I mean, when you read the books, there's way more moving parts than
Then
the
oh,
show.
absolutely, yeah.
And
There's
so
a
I
lot of
think that-
characters that aren't even in the show at all.
I mean, I also wouldn't doubt if he really just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So-
What's the incentive?
I'd like to think he would want to finish it,
I want to
and he
loop.
just can't.
I want to loop back to the article. Are we gonna arrest him? Is that happening? Did
Oh, I
anybody
didn't
arrest
even
him
read the
yet?
article. Yeah.
Like, I want to know what
I had
happened.
the article. I didn't even read the article.
Did
of
we
course,
arrest
they're not
him?
gonna. You don't get to arrest somebody just because they say that you can.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like that's contractual.
I do feel that also.
It's a verbal contract.
Yeah, exactly.
I do feel like you should be able to sign up to be voluntarily arrested for X thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if
That's
George
it.
R. R. Martin wanted to sign up for the registry of like, you can arrest me if I don't do this, but like it's a good incentive, dude. This would make people
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
shit fucking done.
Yeah.
For
Dan,
real.
Chris,
Dan,
your house
you're-
remodeling that you're working on right now, if you signed a thing that was like legally I'll be arrested if I don't finish it by this date,
You're probably gonna fucking finish it.
you're probably gonna fucking finish it.
I don't need the state to. I'll live in a half-finished house and be drunk before.
I'm fine with
Listen,
it.
I'm shocked at how everybody's turned against me in terms of like not only an authoritarian government,
We're
but
coming
one that's
after
like,
you,
hey,
man.
do you want self-motivation? If you don't lose 5 pounds, we'll murder you.
No,
How's that for a diet,
it's
you piece of shit?
completely voluntary, Chris.
Yeah.
You sign up for this program if you want.
Wasn't that a
to.
Saturday Night Live
It's
skit?
basically
It was-
indentured servitude, by the
it
way,
was,
guys. The precursor to slavery is what Dan's describing right now. I just want.
I feel like there was a
God.
TV show or a movie where some guy was like, I've got all of this horrible porn stashed away, and if I don't do this, then I've signed an agreement that they'll send it to my mom. or
Yes.
something
What
like
is that?
What
I'm
is
trying
that?
to
Oh,
remember.
we did
What
that
was
on the.
that from?
I swear we did that on the podcast.
I can't remember, but
this a
that's
sketch
what I'm
comedy
thinking
show
of.
or
I
something?
don't
Or was
remember.
it?
Nathan for you or something.
It was Nathan.
Nathan for you.
Yeah.
all the best things.
Yep,
Nathan
Yep.
for you.
that's what it was. I was like, I remember this so distinctly. What is it? Yep.
Well, I think that's a great segue. Even though I lost the segue a long time ago.
No, here's my
God
solution.
damn it! Every time I try to fucking segue.
No, I haven't thought about George R.
Just
R.
let me
Martin.
do at least
J.R.R.
2
Martin.
segues this stream, please. Or
I
this
haven't-
podcast.
That's fine. Do it after this point. George R. R. Martin. He said he should be imprisoned, right? If he
Yeah.
doesn't finish
Yeah.
it. I think he should be placed in a public like stockade, and everybody should get to walk in front of him and say, "What happens to Jamie?"
Yep.
and ask him a question, and he has to answer it. Like
I want to know
whatever-
about fucking Lady Goddamn Stoneheart.
Yeah.
I need answers.
And you would get
See,
those
there's
under
a
my
lot-
plan.
there's a
Vote
lot
for Chris
more.
Brimmer for Congress.
There's a
and
lot
I
more
promise
in
to
the book.
imprison George R. R.
Stockade.
Martin. Yeah, we'll put George R. R. Martin in a stockade, and he'll have to answer for his crimes against fiction.
Genius.
That Lady Stoneheart stuff proves there's a lot more in the books that he's
Yeah.
working with than the
I
TV
fucking
shows.
wanna know
They
what's
just
going on
ignored
there.
most of that smaller stuff.
Well, speaking of
One
things
day.
in their source material
Okay.
and things that should probably never be made,
Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh,
Blazing
no.
Saddles is being remade as
That's
an
a-
animated samurai movie about cats and dogs.
Ooh.
No, it's not.
It's called Blazing
not.
Samurai.
No, it's not.
No.
It's literally that can't be happening.
So, are you familiar with Nomeo and Juliet?
Oh, they're doing this so they don't have to use the N word. They can just say like "cats like you."
You
Oh.
dirty pussy!
but is this like a children's?
Yeah, definitely.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is still alive. Why is he allowing
Listen, this is like senior abuse.
Yeah, this is
The
not.
fact he's alive is.
He's still alive. This.
This is the media equivalent of bed sores on an elderly.
I hate
relative.
this.
Like,
Can I write?
Almost
What's?
had a
Can I
spit take
petition
there.
this to not?
Yeah, get a
happen?
change.org
Yeah.
petition.
It
You know what
doesn't
those do?
Shit,
A lot.
absolutely nothing. But like, what can?
sing us a good old fashioned doggy work song.
This is seriously like, is this the producers happening in real life? Like,
It's,
I
So-
don't understand this.
does Max Brooks have anything to do with this?
Now that I'm reading the
doubt it.
article,
Oh,
it doesn't necessarily mean like it's greenlit.
Good. I can't
This
imagine
is
it will be.
Mel
Damon
Brooks
Lindelof pitched
wants
this
to do it.
CBS.
No,
Mel Brooks
Brooks
wants to make this.
Oh,
Stop it.
man.
Mel Brooks has heard one too many times some like old man in an office building saying they could never remake Blazing Saddles today, huh? I say that because people say that at work all the time where I work.
Do they really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they talk
man.
about Blazing Saddles?
they
so
love it.
much? I mean, I also love it, but I don't talk about
You
it.
know why
all
they
the
love it?
time. Yeah, I know why they love it.
Because the N word happens a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my coworkers are terrible people. I hope they
Yep.
don't listen to this
But
podcast.
here's the thing. I think anybody who's like, you know what's great about Blazing Saddles? The open use of the N-bomb.
Yeah.
Misses the point of Blazing Saddles entirely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
I wonder if Mel Brooks is fine with this or if he just thinks it's fucking hilarious. Like, yeah, make this into a kid's movie.
Mel Brooks
Like, I
is so
could
old,
see
he
it.
probably can't drive.
He still shows up to like red carpet events and
Yeah,
shit. Like
but-
Does he
he's
really?
doing, yeah, he's
So-
still out there.
They just like
He's still out
they
there.
give
He's
him
still
they give him
going.
his old people meds and they just point him in the right direction and
No.
sense memory takes over.
No,
You can't. I don't know. I
Mel
could be
Brooks will
wrong.
never die, and I don't want to think about it now.
He's still out there.
He's gonna die.
No.
So
Rob Reiner's ghost is talking to him
the-
at night as we speak.
the story follows a dog named Hank who dreams of becoming a samurai when he becomes in charge of protecting Kakamucho. Is that a thing or a person?
I don't know what the fuck.
He learns that the town is
the
entirely
Davenport Kakamuchos.
the town is entirely populated by cats. Wait, I don't know. It sounds like it's not greenlit, but then it has like a full fucking cast with directors and actors.
Weird.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it, Michael Cera, Ricky Gervais, George Takei.
Are you sure this isn't going to be awesome?
This might be fucking awesome. Actually,
that cast?
It
I
kind of
don't
sounds like American
know.
Tail. a little
Maybe.
bit, you know?
Yeah,
I
except like
don't-
I really hope like oh man, I don't even want to say it.
I don't.
I mean, that cast. Who's
What
does
is-
it say who the director is?
Yeah, it does. The director is Mark Coatsire.
Never heard
Kotzer?
of him.
Kotzer?
What else has he
He's
done?
produced and wait, I'm sorry. I don't know what else he's done. I'll look or Connor, you looking
How do
that
you
up?
spell his last name?
Koetsier.
Koetssier.
It's produced
Coatsier?
by animation legend Rob Minkoff, who directed Lion King.
Oh, this guy's just an animator.
And he's direct. Well, that's
It's
He's
his
directing
big
it.
break.
That's who needs to
Yeah.
direct, honestly, is animators.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's weird when you have like a. What was that
Big Hero
animated
6.
movie that Martin Scorsese directed? Hugo. I feel like that's
Oh.
weird.
Hugo wasn't
Hugo
animated.
was weird.
Yes, it is. Or was it like painted over?
Hugo was something.
Like
there was something
Scanner
with it.
Darkly almost? You ever seen the trailer for Hugo? I'm pretty sure it's
I've
an animated
seen the movie and I can't even think.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's like at best
not
case
like
scenario, it's
straight up
Beowulf animated.
It is
though.
listed on IMDb as an upcoming project
I
for
don't
this guy.
want this to
It
be
pro-
a
it
thing.
sounds like it's
still.
happening.
Like I feel like everyone else here is getting real hyped about this, and we're
I'm
forgetting
getting a
that
little hype now. Why are you turning that
Oh,
on?
I'm sorry. I was
So,
trying to look up.
Looks like he's
somebody.
been story artist
I won't
and
anymore.
animator and stuff like Big Hero 6, Kung Fu Panda Holiday, How to Train Your Dragon, Madagascar.
So he's done just like a
B-movie,
shitload of animated movies.
Curious
that people love.
George, stuff
B movie's
like
one of my
that,
favorite movies ever made.
what?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Jerry Seinfeld.
fan, I was gonna
No.
say.
I mean, that's an opinion for sure.
Yeah, dude. You
That's
know why?
an
You want to know why I
opinion.
like it so much?
Huh.
Them fucking stingers get me rabid.
You know,
I hate this.
I saw, what is it?
I hate this also.
Which one's in Florida? Disney World or Land? Or
I never
whichever
know.
one?
I don't
we never know.
I
We
saw the
always get it
bug.
wrong.
They used to have like the interactive movie things, you know, where they'd spray stuff on you. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw the Alien one there when I was like 8. It was not for kids, and they did it anyway, and it terrified me. I also saw A Bug's Life there,
That's a good
the
movie.
interactive one, and it was fucking horrifying.
Really?
As a child, yeah. Maybe I was just a little bitch,
Weird.
All right. Once my
I
dad was a
don't-
scientist, right?
Wait, your dad?
Yes,
Wait, what?
Hold on. Accidentally, me and my friends, right? We found a shrink ray, and we got shrunk down real
but
small.
holy shit!
And we had to live amongst ants and survive on an Oreo
Damn.
cookie.
It
It was called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Your life.
Your
was?
life? Yeah.
But Hugo was not an
no.
animated film.
You spent that much time looking up if Hugo's an
That's what
animated
I was
film?
trying to look up.
Hugo's an
Yeah.
animated movie, dude.
It's not.
It's 100%.
It's
It is
not.
100% not.
It's
It's
not
100% an animated movie, dude. Oh shit, dude, this movie's
It's
not fucking
it's not
animated.
animated.
Oh, did you see the cover art for Blazing Samurai?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no,
Jesus.
no,
let me
no,
throw that up
no,
on the
no,
stream,
no,
let me throw it up on the
no.
It's on IMDb. Prepare to crack up.
That's horrible.
Let me show this on the screen.
I'm-
Describe it. Describe it.
It's a really fat cat.
Like Garfield, like orange.
Looks like it's
tabby
wearing one of those sumo.
It's the fat bastard of tabby
diapers.
cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the fat bastard.
Here, just
of
throw
kids.
this up.
It also says August 2017 on here.
Oh, that makes me feel better that
Wait,
it's
where
never
was this
gonna happen.
article I found written?
I'm glad that this is never.
Mel
gonna
Brooks
be
has
a
been
thing.
trying to get this off the ground for 17
And then there's
years.
another
Ugh.
picture that says there's a great disturbance in the farts. And it's a
Jesus
cat
fucking
holding a katana
Christ.
farting.
Why is Mel Brooks okay with this? Is he
'Cause he's
dead? Are they weekend at
so
burning?
old he doesn't care at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe he is dead, Paige.
Samuel L.
I feel
Jackson's
that.
character's
Is that what
name.
you're getting at?
Yeah, I said weekend at burning
Yeah.
it.
Yep. It's Max Brooks.
Oh,
And,
This
man.
article's 1 day old, so
Well,
Oh, Gabriel Iglesias is in it.
Yeah, I
it's
said that.
never
I
gonna
don't
happen.
like him.
I hate.
It's
nobody
never
likes
gonna
him.
happen.
Ricky Gervais's character is named Ika Chu, so I can't.
We've gone
imagine
too.
that
This
We've
will
gone on
literally
too long
won't
about
happen.
this. I didn't expect this to be such a long discussion.
Next
Yeah.
subject.
All right, let's
really.
wrap it up.
On to the next one.
B-movies goat.
Now introducing the Honorable Lord. Next subject.
I didn't get a good segue into anything, so
a
let's
great
Because that was the
segue.
most fucking ridiculous stuff.
let's
That
talk
can't
about
happen.
bears. You guys want to talk about bears?
Yeah, always.
Paige loves them.
They terrify me.
U.S. government issues bear advice. Friends don't let friends get eaten.
Damn.
So the U.S.
What?
government has recently came out with a bunch of bear advice. One of their suggestions is to not sacrifice your slower friends to get eaten by
Is
the
that
bear.
happening a lot?
No, this is for real.
Yeah.
Is that a
For
thing that's
one,
happening?
If a bear's coming at you, aren't you supposed to be slow? Aren't you not supposed to be
It
running
depends
away
on
from
the
the
it?
National
bear.
Park
Oh,
Service?
you're supposed to be like, "Fuck you, bear." I'm
just
tougher
saying.
and
Nope, it
scarier
depends
than
on the
you."
bear.
You ready for
If
the
it's
best
not a
quote?
grizzly, if
Are
it's
you
a
ready
small bear.
for the best quote
Like
ever?
a black bear, you don't want to move, probably.
No, black bear, brown
You're
bear,
supposed to
you
throw
can
rocks
totally.
at 'em and tell 'em to
you
fuck off
you
and shit.
act like you're tall
Oh,
and you
really?
yell and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Grizzly bears, they tell you to play dead, which I have a conspiracy theory about.
Say it.
From
they
Big
are,
Grizzly?
Yeah, they're just
Big
telling you that
Grizzly.
exactly.
It's
You know, oil's made out of the skin of grizzly bear victims.
No, but my conspiracy is that they're just telling you that, and any animal they tell you that with is just to give you false hope before you fucking die, because there's literally nothing you can
And
do.
so you die quickly.
Yeah, they're like, just lay
Yeah.
down, just play dead, and maybe it'll leave you. Fuck you. No, it won't. It's gonna
Yeah,
fucking
that's Big
eat you.
Grizzly right
Yeah.
there.
Well,
And it's just to make you feel better as you die.
Paige, to your point, you know, bears are one of the only animals that don't kill you before they eat you.
What
And
they
so-
do? Fuck your body?
Yeah, and no, a bear will eat you from your feet to your face.
Yeah.
And most animals will like rip
Fucking
your throat
kill
out
you?
and then
Yeah.
eat you. And bears are like, nope, I'll eat your ass
Yeah.
and then your
eat
midsection.
your
Yeah.
I'll eat your ass, bro.
Fucking
But
bears,
for real,
dude.
bears, I
Yeah.
never thought
Dude,
about it,
I
but
would
I think
fuck
you're
with a bear if it
I'm
eats
fucking
my
right.
ass.
I
Are
think
you
you're 100%
serious?
correct because
100%
grizzly
right.
bears, you cannot escape a grizzly bear.
No,
Yeah.
you can't climb, you can't swim, you
there's
can't
nothing
run,
you can
nothing
get
you can
rid-
do faster.
The best thing you can do is just say, grizzly bear, eat my head first.
Please.
Or
because you're gonna
ass?
eat-
Yeah.
Dude, eat my ass
No.
first, grizzly bear.
No, if you
Are
want
you
to just
serious?
you want to just hand your face to a grizzly bear if it's attacking you.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
going to be your best bet.
Because you want to die in 10 minutes instead of 3.5 hours
Yeah,
of
yeah.
agonizing,
Exactly.
horrible pain where you bleed.
Thank
Hey.
you for coming to my bear
Like,
conspiracy.
Yes, a
TED
grizzly
Talk.
bear will eat half of you and then come back a day later.
Yeah.
What kind of bear?
With its
I'm gonna
friends.
what
steal
kind
a-
of bear was in the Revenant?
I'm gonna steal a joke here and say.
Probably. Did it have
I'm
the
gonna
hump?
steal a joke here
I
real
can't
quick
remember.
and say my favorite bears eat ass. Somebody in chat.
Yeah. Okay. So are these bears? Is this
that's
a
great.
Chrome bar where they're coming at you, or is
Yeah.
this Yosemite? Or is it
So,
Yosemite National?
Let me get
Okay,
back.
so what's happening,
We've
though, with the
gone way
friends-
off on a
friends and
tangent about
bears?
eating fucking ass and bears. So this is one of the funniest quotes I've ever seen. The National Park Service has warned against sacrificing another person to an irate bear. Quote, even
Not another person.
if you think the friendship has run its course. End quote.
Oh my god.
This
And
person saw a movie
a rather
recently.
informal set of recommendations posted on Facebook. So it's on Facebook.
Even if you're sick of your friend, don't let a bear eat them.
I think they need some more funding.
So
to
there have been
hire
a record
better
number of
people.
grizzly bear attacks in the Yellowstone region 2020,
Ooh.
possibly due to the increase in people hiking because of pandemic
else to do.
lockdowns. They got nothing
Makes
else to
sense.
do.
Do they list the percentage of people sacrificing their fatter
yeah.
friends?
Is that like a thing that's happening a lot that they felt the need to make
People
an announcement?
should not run, quote, like dogs, they will chase fleeing animals, the message warns, or escape up a
Yeah.
tree. Both grizzlies and black bears are adept at climbing trees. Then warns, do not push down a slower friend, quote, even if you think the friendship has run its course.
Let's back up to the
This goes
climbing
back
trees.
to like one incident where somebody like
That's
punched a fat friend in the
hilarious.
face and left him for a bear.
I've been sick of our friendship for weeks.
Just let's back up to climbing trees. Even if, let's say, bears were not good at climbing trees,
How good am
I'm
I
not fucking
at
good
climbing
enough
trees?
at climbing
yeah.
trees to think that that's
No.
a viable
Right.
way to get away.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like what am I just gonna run up
absolutely.
the side of the tree?
Like I know a bear's better at climbing a tree than I am
Yeah.
for sure. Instead, they advise people to hold their ground and make noise, like we were talking about. Identify yourself as a human. I am a human.
What the fuck?
Leave me alone.
Excuse me, bear. I am a man. Do you not see this?
This is the books? This isn't real. This can't be
We
real.
recommend using your voice, waving, and showing your opposable thumbs.
Hey.
Wait. I'm
This
sorry.
is literally asking
Thumbs
people
up,
to just
Hold on,
motherfucker.
like
waving and showing off opposable thumbs means nothing to a bear.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
who gets confronted by a grizzly bear and is like, "Excuse me, sir,
I have thumbs.
And
get
the
a ride.
The wave.
have you noticed?
This thumb.
The
Do you have a
post.
can opener you need me to
not
operate to
like-
blow your mind?"
I bet monkeys would react differently to that.
Yeah.
This is how the post ends. We apologize to any quote friends who were brought to a hike and used as quote bait or were sacrificed to save the group.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
on. Period. You will be missed.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I mean, they will, but
Yeah, rest in fucking peace. Pour one out for the homie.
So-
all right, everybody.
What's the source of
I
this?
just want to say that was way too specific, and this guy got pushed down for a bear at some
I
point
think you
by
might
a
be
friend
right.
because that was real.
not a friend
Later,
anymore,
fatty.
though.
Even
is a
if you
movie.
think that friendship has run its course, like that was way too specific. This guy's got some hurt
This
feelings.
guy that works for he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get a job at the
Yep.
National Park Service, and we're gonna issue advisories to make sure this never.
Do you think
happens
that like
again.
a friend of his, him and another ranger who he thought was his best friend encountered a bear?
and he was
and,
like,
like-
"I don't even like you that much anyway."
And, yeah, and that
pushed
guy
him
shoved him
down.
down, and then the bear walked up, and it was like a cop, and like you have a friend who's like, Chris is holding all the weed, and the cop's like, "Oh shit, kid, your friends are bad enough. I don't need to bust
Maybe
you
if
for
somebody
everything.
in a Smokey
I'm just
the
gonna
Bear.
turn around and walk away." You know, like this bear was like, fuck, you got it bad enough. I'm gonna go eat some fish. You know,
You make me too
Like,
sad.
You make me sad.
Shit, you made me not even want to eat ass.
I don't want you calling for your mom and everything while I eat you ass first. I'm gonna move on.
Honestly,
Oh my
not a
God.
bad way to go, dude.
Getting your ass
That sounds
eaten
like
by
the
a
worst
bear.
way possible.
That sounds pretty awful.
Getting your ass eaten by a bear, dude. You know how long their
Yeah.
tongues are?
Oh.
That's
Dude,
why
it
I
could
don't want it.
could straight up jiggle that prostate. You know what I mean?
Ah.
Man.
I don't want to do this
And then it would eat
podcast
it.
anymore.
You know what's funny, Paige, is I don't have a single disgusting article.
I
but
don't
we're gonna
believe
We're gonna turn an
you.
article about like things to not do in a bear attack into something about prostate jiggling.
So
let's-
anyway, Smokey the bear, right? He's a bear with pants and presumably
Yeah.
Genitals?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Sentient.
getting at?
it
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
What does Smokey the bear do to you? I feel like there's a whole, after this conversation, I feel like there's a whole new
smokes you out.
context.
Smokes you
Smokey the
out.
bear.
Let's get high, but let's put out this joint the right way.
Responsibly.
Speaking of responsibility, perfect transition into our next article. A Canadian brewery takes full responsibility by apologizing for a beer named pubic hair in another language. What is this word, Paige?
Maori.
Mayor. That's what I was gonna say. But I figured it was
Maori.
wrong.
I don't know what Maori means.
I don't know what
though.
Mayor. It's another language.
Indigenous New Zealand. And probably some other Pacific Islands.
Wait,
I'm not positive,
how do you
but that's Maori.
accidentally come up
Canadian
Yeah, how do you
brewery
accidentally
a-
do that?
Has
with a beer with a name
apologized.
that's pubic hair in like an indigenous language? That doesn't.
A Canadian brewery has apologized for unwittingly naming one of its beers after a Maori word that is commonly used to mean pubic
What's
hair.
the word? Is it just like something that sounds good?
Hell's
like-
Basement Brewery in Alberta.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that was the name. I was
No,
like, that's not
no,
fair.
no.
Basement means
I was like,
pubic
that's
hair
not
in
fair
my
at all.
So released its. I'm gonna pronounce this horribly, and
Okay,
I
do it.
apologize
That's okay.
to any Maori
Maori.
people that I offend. Haru.
Okay, there's no way you accidentally stumbled
Haru,
across.
Haru.
It's H-U-R-U.
Hurrah,
H-U-R-U.
It's Huru.
You should
Hurrah,
Google a
hurrah.
phonetic
Hurrah, hurrah?
pronunciation. So,
Um,
Uhura?
So
no, I said hurrah,
they released
hurrah.
this 2 years ago, thinking it meant feather. So while I look up the pronunciation,
Oh no!
stuff-
So they fucking like were trying to go with a Maori word and failed horribly.
Yeah.
This is their equivalent of getting a bad tattoo in like
tribal
Chinese
tattoo that says, "I'm
or
a
something.
slut."
Yeah.
say tapu.
or something.
Here.
Like you've got like a,
You go
a
in, you're like,
kanji
give me,
for like
give me the
trash
Chinese
can.
characters for hope, and you come out with it says piece of shit or something like,
or just like fork.
yeah.
Okay, so MaoriDictionary.com
It's probably slang, I assume.
says number one, huru, spelled like that, right?
Mhm.
Diffused light.
Okay.
It also means hair, feather, coarse hair, bristles.
Okay.
In
not,
all,
not normally of the head
Okay.
or fur.
Okay. So.
And yeah.
so this is where it gets challenging, right? Like,
And then that one, puke, before it means pubes of a woman.
Oh, well, that's not nice.
That's how you say it.
I don't know what that's.
So where it gets challenging, right, is like think about not that far away from us, right? You got Mexico; they speak Spanish.
From St. Louis, it's pretty far.
Well, it's a lot closer
Canada
than
might
fucking
even
wherever
be
the
closer.
Maori live, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
right?
true.
So
They're
huevos
a boat
means
away.
like everything from eggs to testicles to,
To
boobs.
boobs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like,
exactly. That's
it's-
the thing is slang is so
Yeah.
like maybe it meant feather at some point, but now colloquially it's more
Yeah.
known as pubic hair.
So
That's totally
Maybe if you're some white people, just fucking name the thing a language
yeah,
you
in your
understand.
own fucking language.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
listed on here with another word in front of
No,
it as
totally.
pubes of a woman.
And
But
they do
somebody
say
was-
like coarse hair and all
Wait,
that. Like and-
specifically pubes of a woman?
Yeah.
Do we have a word in English that's pubes
No,
of a woman?
Not that I know of.
Merkin.
That's like a wig,
It's a
though.
pubic wig for a
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah,
It's
that's
cool.
different.
But isn't a merkin
But that just
also
goes
for
to
a
show you
man?
how complicated.
But isn't a merkin also for a man?
when you fucking heard of a male merkin? Never.
But it's not gender exclusive.
Merkins were created for like 18th century prostitutes. Like they're just not a thing that men.
I thought it was for film.
No.
No.
I also
For
thought it was
showgirls
film.
and-
18th century prostitutes on
No,
film.
But-
pre-film.
On
It's
film.
Joke's
Merkins-
on them. Nothing's
Merkins
sexier than a
predate
thick fucking
motion pictures.
forest down there. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Nothing's sexier than a thick forest.
No, Merkins, and feel free to fact check me, guys.
I'm not gonna.
Merkins, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
started
I don't,
as
I don't
like
feel the need
because like in saloons in the like early mid 1800s, they'd be like, "Oh, give me a penny and I'll show you me buff." And they
Well,
have
no,
the
no.
to. Are they cockney?
So kind
Oi, oi! I came here from wherever Mary Poppins was filmed
Oh
to
Jesus.
San Francisco, and you give me a penny. Give me a corn farthing for a
So I think-
a view of my.
I think you're on the right track for a good example of this though in the English language. Pussy. Like that
Pussy,
used
pussy,
to mean
pussy,
cat.
marijuana.
Yeah.
And if you look it up, I bet cat will still technically come up in it,
You
but
know,
that's not colloquially
speaking of
what
pussy-
we
Where in
say.
the order do you get pussy control by Prince? And how
Speaking
does
of
that go off
well,
the-
speaking of the word pussy and old timey meanings, our last episode of the PearCast, I always use royalty free, not royalty free. They're probably not royalty free. I always use like really old, hopefully public domain music.
Yeah.
And the last song was pussy, 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 come here, pussy, pussy, pussy. It was just the word pussy, pussy over again.
Dictionary.com.
And I don't think they were
Pussy
talking
means
about
cat.
badges.
That sounds
Yep,
like a
see?
Die Antwoord
That's what I'm
song.
saying. So even if we can like look
like
up this
old-timey,
Maori
though.
word and find that definition, that doesn't mean that
actually-
it's how it's
and
actually
it has
currently
a
used.
slang definition, but it is not.
Shit, dog. Click on that
Vagina.
ad for the Audi A6, though.
It
That's
is
what I'm
a
interested
disparaging
in.
and offensive. A timid, passive person,
Oh,
especially
yep.
a man. That's what it says on dictionary.com.
But yeah, I think Chris is the most
Ooh, I
valid
need a-
point.
I need a thesaurus.
Just
synonyms for pussy.
fucking name it in a language you understand.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we doing this? Why are they trying to do this?
They should have just called it the fucking pubes beer.
Or like I don't know,
Pubes
like
brew.
I'd try pubes brew.
Yeah.
like had a
Mhm.
conversation ever with a Maori person.
Yeah.
Like that could have maybe solved a lot of this too.
I don't know what a
Instead, they
Maori
just wanted to
person is until
culturally
now, but-
appropriate.
Well, instead, what
Fucking-
happened is they like, hey, let's pay a company a little bit of money, and they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna. Once you kick down the chain of command, eventually you have a person who doesn't know what they're talking about but has a bachelor's degree.
Yep.
Who makes the decision? It's like there's
Yep.
3 managers before a person who doesn't make enough money, and they're like, oh, I like this word that I found
Yep.
on the internet. And I got a position of trust, and
Yeah.
we're gonna call this beer pubic hair.
Of a woman.
and
There
that's
you
what
go.
happened.
Of a
Pubic hair
woman.
of a woman.
Yeah.
My friend's tattoo says "wowie wowie." on it. Let's go with that.
So let's go through our 3 animal stories. Then I guess that's one of them. Next story is you guys heard about all these people refusing to wear masks?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
explain it in detail from the beginning. Provide all the context.
So I don't know if you know, but there's a pandemic going on right now.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So in India, a goat was arrested for not wearing a mask.
What? What?
Oh my god.
In a bizarre incident, the police
Yeah.
arrested a goat that was roaming in India's. I hate when they tell me where. It doesn't matter
Do
where.
goats have rights?
With
I'm a goats' rights activist.
so the goat was roaming, quote, without wearing a mask. The incident took place over the weekend, and the police picked up the goat and took it to the police station in a Jeep. The owner of the goat learnt, the article says,
Okay.
learnt that the police had taken it away. He rushed to the police station. He pleaded with the cops. The police finally let him take back his goat, but warned him not to allow the animal to roam on the road.
without a mask.
Yeah, so did they just pick him up because he was roaming in the
Yes,
street?
I feel like this is a like the police chief was just like making a joke, and then it became international.
Yeah, like a
news.
headline.
Yeah, like I feel like they were like
They
he
probably
was
just
like,
picked it up because it was roaming around.
yeah, he was like, give me the legal reason you picked up my goat.
Yeah.
And they were like, there
One
wasn't
of
one
the-
on the books, so they're like, okay, he didn't.
It
have
wasn't
a
wearing a mask.
One of the policemen who had brought the goat admitted that they found a lockdown violation because the goat was without a mask. People are now making their dogs wear a mask, so why not a goat, he asked.
What?
Nobody's
doing that.
Yeah.
My dog's not wearing a mask.
Yeah, neither is mine.
No?
No.
Barry doesn't have
No,
a
my
mask?
dog. My dog has a full-blown respirator with the filters on the side. But I don't let him go to Home Depot because it's got the flap still
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
When they
Makes
leave.
sense.
Yeah.
You know, it only protects them.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
So that's it. That's pretty much it.
Weird. Okay.
Um,
that
to
sounds
be
like they're
fair-
trying to like get a fine out of somebody.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
definitely.
What that reminds me
ridiculous.
of-
I don't want to offend anybody here, but don't find it surprising that like an Indian police department is
Can
corrupt
I
and trying to get
can
money.
I reword that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't find it hard to believe
police
that a
department.
police
Yeah,
department
sorry.
is corrupt.
No, because I wasn't gonna limit it to India, but yeah, just anywhere.
Literally
Let me
anywhere.
translate for
Okay,
Dan.
no.
You know who I hate? Southeast Asians.
No, like New Zealand, right? Doesn't New
Thailand.
Zealand have like a super cool police department or
I have
something
no
like that?
idea.
Like there's some country where I'm always seeing ads and they seem super cool.
New Zealand seems
Oh, New
pretty cool
Zealand
in
does have
general.
some really funny like cop commercials.
Yeah. So I'm trying to say like it'd be almost shocking if New Zealand, but like it wouldn't be
Wouldn't
shocking
surprise
if
me.
like a St. Louis, which is where
Uh-huh.
we live,
Yeah.
was like trying to extort some because I know people who have been charged for improperly not having curtains. Do you remember that?
No.
We know somebody who's been charged because they didn't have curtains in their window. They got a fine.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what we're
was in-
talking about.
I don't want to say any names, but it was in
What's the township?
Ferguson.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
You know him.
there's-
You know him.
Oh.
We all know.
I now know who we're talking
All
about.
three of us know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was fined for not having curtains in her window, which is a
That's
ridiculous
Why
fine.
ridiculous.
is that even something?
Dude,
that
those
you
are
could
like
be fined for?
1950s red line law shit.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
Because
stuff.
police
definitely-
forces are
Still
corrupt.
exists?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
definitely a racially motivated
Yes.
enforcement law and
Yeah,
everything.
no,
yeah.
and the thing is too, a lot of municipalities that don't enforce that shit, they keep it on the books so they can selectively enforce.
It's
Enforce
like
it, yeah.
In
it's
case
like
they-
sodomy
yeah.
being on
yeah.
A lot of places.
sodomy's
yeah.
still on the books somewhere. I
In
feel like
most
it's so
of
they can,
Missouri.
I feel like it's so
Yeah.
they can eventually like they're gonna like try to punish gay people or something.
Well,
you
no,
know
that's
I
what
mean?
it originally exists.
I know.
for.
I know
Yeah.
that, but it's still the fact that it still exists.
But they keep it on there so that, like, say they catch a couple fucking around in a parking lot, they can hit them with like
oh yeah,
five
now
different
you get
Yeah.
things.
sodomy
Yeah.
charges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Absolutely.
that's the reason they do that shit.
no, it's a good. That's a.
So yeah, corrupt cops literally anywhere is never going to surprise
Yeah,
me.
I'm sorry. No, I
is
wasn't
what I'm
trying
getting
to
at.
say.
Yeah.
No corrupt. Like the only place that might surprise me, like I'm saying, is New Zealand. is
Well,
what I'm
have you
trying to
guys-
say.
And that's based on commercials
Not to get
that
too
we've
India
seen.
specific or offend anybody, but did you guys see the clip when it was like they first did their lockdown in India? Like, so in the U.S. we're like, we're gonna fine you, and it's gonna take a month to go to court. They just had cops hitting guys with sticks.
Yeah.
There was no fine. It was just
You
Honestly,
know,
not
they were just like,
kinda-
too
get
opposed
back
to
in your
it,
house,
yeah.
you piece of
Can
shit.
I
Like-
say that I wish we would do that now?
Yeah,
with people
kinda
that
wish
won't
we'd do
fucking wear
that.
masks. I'm fine if people just hit him with fucking billy clubs.
Yeah. And-
Like fuck you, put
I
a
don't want to
mask
be hit
on
with a
or
billy
go
club, but if
inside.
you were like, "Hey, I'm going to hit your calf with a switch," or you got to give me $200, I'd be
Yeah.
like, "All right, give me just
Here you go.
one real good one."
Yep.
Like right there.
Or just wear a mask.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You're
what I'm
just-
saying.
yeah, I'm not
I
honestly
don't think
too
that's the
opposed to
worst
that.
approach.
Um,
Wear a fucking
I
mask.
agree.
Yeah.
But moving on from one animal to our last. This is a pretty good one, and I have a video for this. I'm kind of waiting for this ad to play out before I read it, which is a really long ad. So I'm going to read it. We'll discuss it until this ad's done, so I can actually
Wow.
play the video. It's a 1-minute ad.
That's insane.
It looks better than Westworld.
You guys can see the title.
I'll give this that much.
This has a lot of layers to it. Pet goose that survived fox attack, now internet hero, moose jaw mayoral candidate.
okay.
I'm just
So
keep
this
reading.
is going
I
to be
need to know.
unrelated.
Well, we're going to play the article.
Isn't the
Video.
name Moose Jaw what was going to be the name of the new Kevin Smith?
Moose
Yeah.
Jaws.
Yeah,
Okay.
moose jaws.
It was about a
I
moose that was
can't-
killing
It
people.
was
yeah.
Jaws with a moose,
What
is
the
what he
I
described it as.
I can't not
That's
think.
the dumbest shit I've ever heard of.
Yeah, no,
I can't not think moose
not
knuckle
wrong
in my
there.
head though. Constantly. Like
Yeah.
that's all I ever think of when
that's
I see
reasonable.
that.
Here's the story.
Loves following me around.
It's a bond that formed 9 years ago when Steve the Goose came to live on Carla Shemko's acreage.
Whether I'm mowing the lawn on the tractor, he goes up and down the rows, or if I'm in the garden, he's in the garden with me.
Oh.
Steve, come on.
He follows Shemko, but Steve is a natural leader, taking care of his goslings and his mate Lulu, who passed 4 years ago.
No, Lulu.
But nothing could prepare
Sad.
Steve
It's like a
for
Korean
what
War vet
happened the
goose
night he
grandpa story.
disappeared.
I said to the boys, have you seen Steve? And they said no. And I noticed some feathers, so we came back here right away and he was gone.
The family searched everywhere before turning to social media. Volunteers joined the effort, but soon after, Shemko heard that a fox had been spotted with a goose in its mouth.
I went back on Facebook and let everybody know, and everybody reached out to me. It was beautiful.
But the next day, pecking on the back door was Steve.
He's tough.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah,
He's,
Steve.
like I said, he will put everybody before himself.
Somehow, the flightless bird fought
he
off a
lended out
fox
money when
and
he
made his
shouldn't
way
help
home.
friends
He had
out.
injuries and fewer feathers, but his story went viral, making international headlines and quickly gaining his own following.
From all that attention, a stranger a little closer to home came up with the idea that Steve the Goose should run for mayor of Moose Jaw.
No.
While the campaign is real,
Canada.
Steve can't be a candidate. There's a catch: the mayor has to be a person.
Good.
Still, fans are flocking to
Good.
grab Steve for mayor merchandise and share his
This has
story.
happened before
a
in this
wild
town.
tale
That's why
of
there's a law
survival
that says the
and
mayor has
always
to be a person.
finding your way home.
This mayor had
Let's
a
go back.
horse. This town
Daniela
had a horse that was a
Ponticelli,
mayor at
Global
one point.
News.
Okay,
Alright, so that's
first, that was like a Disney level roller coaster of emotions to like, look at his beautiful family. She died 4 years
Yeah, I
ago.
have
He
so
was
many
taken
thoughts.
away by a fox, but he's fine. But then also, I really want to talk about how she said he puts everyone else's needs before his own. How
What a
does that
wonderful-
happen as a goose?
Okay,
He's
yeah.
a wonderful goose.
Listen, somewhere in this town, there is a guy who has, like, married a widow. He's raising 4 of her children that aren't his. They have 2 children together.
Is that this
He's
goose
got like 3
Steve?
jobs. No.
And
but-
that man is a goose.
No, that man is a human, but instead the goose gets a story on the news and he just says, "Why do I do anything?" and hangs himself in his basement.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Also-
what this human interest piece about a goose
Now,
does.
Steve the Goose seems fucking cool,
It's
right?
a cool fucking name too.
But why is it that
Should've worn my goose
loads
shirt.
and loads of people come out for a goose and unite for a goose to
Bro,
go
because
home?
And yeah,
this
we
is
have
the-
millions of missing
hey,
people.
They don't give a fuck
This
about
is-
anybody
yeah.
else.
This
That's
is
what I'm
the-
saying. The guy in my
Yeah.
story who hung himself in the
Yeah.
basement did everything right in life and no
Yep.
one cared.
This
and
is
the
the
goose got to
internet age.
run for mayor.
This is the internet age. Do you know how, like, we're talking about it? We're not talking about your fucking dude who hung himself in the basement because that's
true.
not fun.
Yeah.
You know what's fun?
Yeah, fuck
Goose
that
is running
guy.
for mayor.
You know what? Fuck that guy.
Fuck that dude who did everything you're supposed to do to be a decent human. This
Piece
goose
of
is a
shit.
goose.
What a bizarre
It's a fucking goose.
story.
And
I
also,
love it.
I'm on his Instagram.
What?
Steve the goose got an Insta?
Wait, plug it real quick.
What's his name?
Steve the Goose 2020. It said it in
Oh,
that video right there.
shit.
That's why I went to it. He
Steve
doesn't
the
have
Goose
any
2020.
followers. I'm gonna
See if we
follow him.
can trade him some
No,
PearCast
he has
shirts for some of
none.
those
I was
shirts.
his 160th. Doesn't have that many.
160. Fuck, I got.
I imagine.
Everybody
more
go
than that.
follow Steve
I
the Goose
imagine
2020.
Moose Jaw. Is that Saskatchewan?
Moose
Whatever,
Knuckles,
is it?
Saskatchewan.
Wait,
Saskatchewan.
plug it one more time because everybody's got to go follow.
Steve the Goose 2020.
If you got an Insta, go to Insta, Steve the Goose 2020. Follow Steve the Goose. Vote for Steve the Goose. Change the law in Canada so Steve the Goose can become mayor.
I had a
He
cat
puts
named
What a
everyone's
guy.
needs.
Dude,
What
he's
a
such
guy.
a
so
cute goose. I mean,
cute.
guys, for those who are listening, Steve the Goose looks like a goose.
Steve.
He
the
looks
Goose.
okay. No,
Just
no,
be
no,
clear,
no, no,
Steve
no,
the
no,
goose
no, no.
is a goose
I
and
want to
not a
specify.
person.
I want to specify. He's not a Canadian goose. He's a white goose.
Yeah, he's not even
Whoa.
a
With
Canadian.
the orange bill.
What are you trying to say about Canadians?
That all geese suck and they bite and they're mean anyway. But I like Steve the Goose because he's cute and I learned about his wife that passed away 4
Can-
years
his
ago.
wife.
So,
Like,
so I
this-
feel for
The
him.
only thing missing from that is like Steve was running a shift at work, dealing with a personnel problem.
And he
whenever
got
he got
the
the call
phone
that
call.
said your wife has died of goose cancer.
To Lulu.
To
Lulu.
Lulu. I don't have
Lulu
a
the
full
Goose.
drink, but
to
cheers.
Lulu. To Lulu.
Well, speaking of, things that you would do too, this one's to the homies. And a Utah man was arrested for printing porn at Walmart, quote, for the homies who were
You
locked
talking
up.
about Uter?
What?
That state?
Uter?
Uter? Isn't that how
Uter?
it was pronounced recently?
When what?
By a man.
During an interview.
the
I
same one who
He shall
thinks
not
that-
be named.
Yeah.
There's a park named Yosemite.
Yeah.
I I want to give a shout out to all my Yosemites though, for real life.
And
We're
everybody in
we're in
Uter.
the struggle together. Yeah.
Okay, but why did he get it? Can you not print porn at Walmart? Is that illegal? I thought this
Apparently
was
not.
America.
That's actually, well, it would be. I guess you get like obscene imagery.
Yeah,
like
but my
that's
freedom.
going back to arbitrary laws, like obscene imagery.
Is it because it was Utah? Does Utah make it specifically
Utah is
illegal?
very
Utah's
Mormon.
probably, yeah.
True. That's dumb.
Which
you should be able to print
They sell
porn
a
at
lower
Walmart.
percentage of beer, like alcohol content in beer. There.
Beautiful
So.
statement.
A witness complained
Beautiful
to Walmart
statement.
loss prevention, saying a
witness?
man later identified as a 33-year-old blank, who I'm not going to say his name because this guy didn't do anything wrong,
Why'd
was
they have to
printing off pornographic images at a Walmart photo center.
The witness to this?
Why'd they have to go through loss
Why did they
prevention?
stand there and stare at a
What did they
screen that
lose?
somebody else was working on? Fucking walk away.
Yeah.
It's not fucking child porn, I assume. I assume it would lead with child porn.
He was
if it
arrested. He admitted to printing off pornography.
It was all deep fakes with Bryan Cranston's face
Quote,
on it.
he
That's what it
admitted to
was.
printing off the pornography to, quote, send it to the homies are locked up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Good
okay.
intentions,
Oh no,
Oh,
Dan
no.
discovered something.
Oh, Dan, what
bad.
is
Well, it doesn't mention this anywhere else, but it just says he denied that the images were of underage females. But it doesn't also accuse him of printing out photos of underage females anywhere in
Okay.
this article.
I would like to make a grand sweeping statement for all of us that if this is adult consensual pornography he is printing off, don't.
cares?
It's
If
fine,
it is-
whatever. If
if
it
it-
is anyone under the age of 18 or non-consensual, we are all
To
collectively
be elaborate,
horrified.
to elaborate a little more too, I want to say that if he's like printing off, and this might be offensive, if he's printing off if he's basically not securing the rights to adult actresses' pornography and he's printing it off,
I don't give a fuck.
I don't
about
give a
that.
Is he
fuck.
violating a
Fucking
trademark?
Copyright.
If
yeah.
he's like printing off pictures of like girls in a
TOS.
fucking shower that don't know their
Yeah,
pictures
is
are
he
being
fucking
taken,
printing off Pam
Yeah.
Anderson for people in prison? Whatever.
don't
Who
give a
gives a
fuck.
shit? Good on him.
Or is he selling pictures of a person he
Underage.
knows who's down with it to get money?
Yeah.
that's cool too.
Fine
Yeah,
by that
that's
too.
He's,
100%
he's not
cool.
selling it to
Like,
the
like
homies.
this
No.
is
He's
this
giving
is
it
him
to
like
the
a third
homies.
cousin of his.
I
that
assume
he's
this
got
would
pics
lead
of,
or
so
be.
What?
It's Uter.
It is Uter.
No, I feel like if it was child porn, they would lead with that, and that would be in the headline. So that's dumb.
It's
it kills
weird-
me that there's a witness. Like, who the fuck? They walked by. Like, we've all been to. We know what those kiosks look like, where you can print photos. Someone had to walk by and be like, breasts,
Yeah.
and like call the police.
Maybe it was like super fucked up though.
Yeah.
too. Like maybe it was so fucked up that like you didn't just see boobs. Like they walked past and they were like, "Whoa,
Chris,
what
honestly,
is happening
could
in
anything
this
shock
kiosk?"
you at this point?
No.
Like if you walked would any pornography
America
surprise
is
you?
we
If
are
you
a
walk by.
broken
Yeah.
looking
Whoa,
society.
whoa.
Nothing can
the
happen.
world has access to pornography. We're all broken.
Not
okay?
all of them.
Yeah.
Porn's fucked.
No.
True.
But that's what's so fucked up, right? Like I could imagine seeing something like if I'm at Walmart and I see something super fucked up in the print off kiosk, I'm like, look, man, you can get anything you want on the internet. Why are you at
Why are
Walmart
you
paying
fucking
a premium
No,
to
he's
print off
printing
fucked
off
up fucking weird
for
shit?
the homies in prison.
let's
You could
be
do that at
honest.
home. You can buy a printer at Walmart for
Bro,
$20 and
printers
mail
are
those
finicky.
to
He's
That's
doing-
why it's probably more cost effective to print them at Walmart.
When was the last time you were shocked by something at Walmart?
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Never.
a really
When I
valid
saw
point.
a HD TV for $200.
When I saw this dude that I know that works
I was like,
there
"What?
roll up
How's
on a
that- how
fucking
can that-"
scooter and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
It's a fucking weird place. It's a weird fucking place.
Well,
But he was printing them out for the homies in prison, man.
Yeah.
He was doing God's fucking work.
Like you said, as long as it was consensual and
Exactly.
they were
Although
of age.
Then
I
whatever.
see something
Big
fucked up
fucking deal.
every time I go to Walmart.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
But does it shock you?
My favorite was an
Yeah,
Elvis
okay.
impersonator.
There you go.
And yeah,
I followed him for a very long time.
like I was at a Walmart and like
They did.
somebody was buying a TV and they seemed like they were dying while they bought the TV. But buying the
It's a
TV,
lot of money.
but buying the TV was the most. No, like they were
It
like
sparked joy
This
in
was
their
like 3
life
months
again.
ago, and they were like super sick. It was like a super fat person. I'm just gonna go there and like a thing, and like they were coughing and could barely breathe, and like
Oh.
they were like, "Give me my giant television," and they needed a person to help load it and stuff.
And
I'm
it
like,
was during the pandemic.
I'm like, you should be at the. You seem like you're dying.
You should not be here buying
Why
a
are you
TV.
buying a giant television?
Why are you
right now?
prioritizing this?
That's Walmart.
That's
Yep.
Is
just
my
it.
point.
Oh, which I feel like this is a great segue.
what?
Because I just saw a part of your headline. Speaking of people of Walmart.
What?
People of Walmart.
Oh, why is it? What does this have to fucking do with Walmart?
Just go ahead and read it. Let the world decide.
Speaking of people of Walmart, according to Page, Insane Clown Posse teams up with Chris Hansen to catch an alleged sexual predator.
I see the Walmart connection.
You're welcome.
Sounds about right.
Okay, read that headline one more time though.
This is like the mafia during World War II working with the FBI to like fight Nazis.
Right.
So ICP teamed up with Chris Henson?
Yeah.
Hansen? Not Henson.
not
Not
the
the
Mbop
lovable
Chris,
puppet.
yeah.
Oh, or them.
yes, Chris, yes.
To catch a predator. Is that legal yet? Is that a thing? Because he keeps
It's
getting
not-
in trouble for like catching
So
predators.
for one, like the phrase "to catch a
You know?
predator" is, I believe, a non-copywritten phrase. Like Chris and I can go catch predators if we want. All we need to go is
I don't
do
know
is go on
about
Grindr.
that. I don't know if
All we need to do is
vigilantes
go
are
on
allowed.
Grindr.
We used large glue traps, right? And we placed them along the floorboards because that's where the predators scurry.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that was always the
Sounds
issue with
about
it.
right.
Is what he was doing was not like legal. It's like you couldn't. It didn't hold up.
No,
in
you're not
court and
allowed to
shit.
just be a cop that catches pedophiles.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to hire a person to pretend to be a child to catch a sex offender and then call the cops and say do something. The cops are like, "Well, this is weird. I don't know what to do." Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, our society isn't really set up for that kind of system.
So did they catch a predator?
They've caught a lot of.
How did
predators.
ICP help? How did they team up? What's their involvement?
They had lots of short juglets that they.
I have
donated.
so many questions.
That's
Violent J
reasonable.
said, "Yo, FBI, you want some little tiny shorties in makeup
We got you.
to catch some of them pedos?"
Well, honestly,
I got like
like
200.
Juggalos, honestly, and like the Insane Clown Posse seem like very good people.
Posse.
Honestly,
What?
they're no, like Juggalos have like a weird set of morals.
During the lockdown,
But they also do
shut
some
down faster
fucking
than
weird
a lot of
shit where they
people.
put like Faygo in their vagina and squirt it out on everybody.
Only people of age who decide they want to
Are
do
we
it.
no? Are we just gonna
But
like completely
also-
pretend that they aren't horrifically racist, addicted to meth, really fucking misogynistic, and
Wait, the
really
Juggalos
They're
are
homophobic?
racist?
misogynistic, but
They're
not
fucking
racist.
garbage.
They're not. What have the Juggalos ever done that's racist?
Mm,
Exactly.
Okay.
Misogynistic is definitely.
That's fair enough. They have a culture of like ladies
Sexism.
put
Yeah,
meat in
no,
your
they're
vagina.
Homophobia.
Like deli meat.
They're not good fucking people.
for
and
real.
I'm
Shaggy
not
Two
gonna-
Dope is actually like the ICP are actually like pretty dope people. No, actually, for real. What have they done?
As the single woman here,
What has
I'm
ICP
gonna
ever
say
done? Let's go.
No.
I don't think ICP's ever done anything wrong.
Literally,
for real.
90% of their fucking songs are about really horrific sexual violence against women.
Listen, I got
That's
one
fair.
question for you.
So-
That's a
Who's
fair
eating
argument.
cotton candy?
That's a fair argument, but saying that like they're racist,
That's an ICP.
I don't.
I'm
what?
sorry, sexist, homophobic, misogynistic.
What is homophobic? I don't know ICP enough.
I didn't know why.
What's homophobic?
I didn't know we were here to fucking defend a group of
I-
meth head fucking inbred people.
I
don't
That's
know enough
fine.
about
Let's
ICP.
I don't know
continue to do
anything
that.
about it.
I don't know enough about ICP to know if they're homophobic or not. They're homophobic in the same way that this is.
That's
I'm
not
on
a
our
great-
Juggalo. You ready?
That's not
They're
a great
homophobic.
start
This is
to
our
that.
Juggalo. They're homophobic in the same way they eat Monopoly and shit out Connect 4.
that does
That's the
not
first
mean
comment.
anything.
I don't know what the.
We're gonna get off our Juggalo
I'll
for our
let you,
evidence.
I'll let you continue. You can
Seems
defend
like
them
a
all you want.
solid-
But
I'm
I
not
wanna
defending
say,
them. I think it's
as-
just ridiculous.
I'll tell a
to-
third-party story to diffuse the
I
situation.
want to say right here and now, as a person on this podcast, I do not support saying they are all good people in
I didn't
any
say
way,
all
shape, or
Juggalos
form,
are
or that
good
they're not
people,
that
and if I
bad.
did, I want to clarify
So-
because all Juggalos are not good people.
I'm gonna say they're all garbage.
So my
that's even
brother
more fucked
worked
up.
the
Yeah.
Gathering of the Juggalos for many years. He works for a staging company, and saw lots of things that you don't expect to see in a place.
In a
One of
place.
which, have I told the poop dollar?
Yeah, you told the poop dollar story on the stream.
Okay, yeah. There was a bridge. He worked the Gathering of the Juggalos one year, and there was a bridge, and there was a group of people that would put their poop.
Oh, yeah, I know what
in
poop
down-
dollar
yeah.
is. Yeah.
But it lasted the entire time. Like it was just like nonstop. There was poop dollars happening, and I don't know how that fits into the story. Other than that's who Juggalos
It
are.
fits in perfectly.
They're gross. I think
So
we can all
how did
agree.
they help catch a predator? Let's get back to the article.
I'm telling you, they
Instead
donated
of
women
the
they had
morality.
like stolen from the Gathering of the Juggalos. They were like, we doped out these girls, and now they'll do whatever you want, Chris Hansen.
Well,
See,
Chris
that makes them sex traffickers then, though. So
That's not what
that
happens.
doesn't work.
Let's clarify. That's not at all
That's
what fucking
not what
happened.
happened.
Walter
Look,
Cronkite
shut up for a minute.
reported
Chris
the story.
Hansen claims that he is, quote, proud to be a Juggalo.
Oh no! Jesus Christ. Jesus. Okay.
So I guess it was just, honestly, it sounds like it was just an interview.
Wait, did Chris Hansen
He's
just
trying to
call
catch a
himself a
predator. He should
juggalo
look in
and
the
therefore
mirror.
ICP helped catch a predator? Like, is he just reaching?
Maybe they caught him. Maybe he's the predator.
During the
And they were
interview,
like, yo, Chris Hansen, say you a juggalo or we're going to ruin you.
Yeah.
during the interview,
Who's going chicken hunting?
During the interview, Hansen tells Insane Clown Posse that he reached out to them based on the way they recently publicly outed Vanity as Juggalo enemy number 1.
What?
Asking why they decided to speak out against the situation. In response, Violet J says that they were in fact inspired to go after Blood on the Dance Floor frontman after, I don't know what half these words mean, after Hansen brought the allegations to light on his web show. Both members of ICP go on to praise Hansen for his work, with Violent J naming To Catch a Predator as his, quote, all-time favorite show.
That's too bad.
How does Shaggy 2 Dope feel
Okay,
about it,
I
though?
don't-
The rappers also
Yeah.
tell Hansen how they literally made a song called To Catch a Predator, also noting how they've been speaking out against these kinds of criminals in their songs for years.
What?
It's just really too bad his favorite show of all time is To Catch a Predator.
There's so many
At least
words.
pick It Takes a Thief.
No,
right?
I was going to say close
Catch a
second,
Predator.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit there saying nothing, Shaggy 2 Dope adds, echoing Violent J's notion that the group carried a certain responsibility to getting involved. Quote, he's doing what we're doing, but taking advantage of the situation.
What?
How is ICP combating
Is
sex predators?
Is ICP confused about
This is
what
a
they
weird
do?
quote.
About who they are?
This is a weird quote. He's doing what we're doing, but taking advantage of the situation and getting with these girls. It makes you think, did he get into this career so he could tour and molest? Is that why he got into it?
He's talking about the lead singer of Blood on the
Oh,
Dance
okay.
Floor.
So
Gotcha. That makes
ICP was
way
like-
more sense.
So I get it. ICP was like, that guy's a creep. Let's call Chris Hansen and set something up.
I got you. Okay, so that makes way more sense when he's like, he's doing what we're doing. I was like, you're not Chris Hansen. Do you realize that?
History
it
will
now.
tell you when Chris Hansen's on your ass, you're done, Violent J says in the closing minutes of the interview, ending the conversation on a hopeful note. He again notes his respect for Hansen by telling him how much of an honor it is to work with him. Violent J even tells Hansen how ICP actually written a song lyric stating Chris Hansen is a juggalo, but he doesn't know it. In response, Chris Hansen chuckles and utters the phrase, I'm honored to be a juggalo.
Oh my god.
I really am.
Classic.
Okay. That was beautiful.
That's all I
Chris Hansen, what the fuck?
really wanted to read there. So there was an article I was going to read tonight that I'm going to skip because the actual details of it are very depressing.
Ooh, all right.
The headline's funny. The article's just
Let's
sad.
skip
Yeah.
it. Let's
So
move
Moving
it.
on.
Let's skip
Moving
and move on to
on.
something that's been an ongoing discussion. Paige just read the headline off my laptop.
Yes.
You shouldn't be looking at my
Why
laptop.
am I not the one to give this?
Because I don't
Boo.
know. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys ever heard of something called the loop trolley?
Oh, no, not this again.
We've
I was
talked
down
about
there
the
getting
loop trolley
fitted
how
for
many
a
times?
suit. I was
Yeah.
down there getting fitted for a suit a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and it was nowhere in sight.
Well,
Was it beautiful?
And the people said they haven't seen it in weeks.
Yeah. It's been like closed.
How long ago was
The
this?
People in the formal wear store. It was beginning of July, probably.
Okay. Well, this
Oh,
article's right
maybe
around
first
that
week of July or
time.
last week of June.
We have an update on the loop trolley. The loop trolley's been an ongoing saga on the podcast. There's been many updates. Just to catch listeners up, it's a trolley in St. Louis where
that
we
no
all
one
live.
fucking asked
Nobody
for.
asked for it. Nobody wanted. Cost a lot of money.
Costs like $5 billion goddamn
They've
dollars.
asked for
Cost as
more and
much
more
as
tax
reason.
dollars.
Yeah, they could have had a genuine.
It's a
transportation
hilarious.
system.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious failure
All around in
of an
every
attempt
way.
at
It's
anything.
been amazing.
So here's the latest article from the Riverfront Times. Zombie loop trolley emerges from the grave to give free rides during pandemic.
Who the fuck wants to ride
Great.
public transportation during a pandemic?
Well, it is
Our
open
pra-
air at least.
Doesn't fucking
Is it?
goddamn
Yeah.
matter.
There's windows on
If
it.
I'm
there?
sitting
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
next
it
to
was
It's more
someone,
like
I don't
a-
think it's open air.
It's
Oh,
not open
okay.
air. No, there's
Yeah. I don't think
windows.
so.
It's like maybe open door.
that is like literally the worst thing they could do is fucking open up more public transportation during a pandemic.
They're meeting like I feel like Tony Soprano and Paulie
Soprano.
Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano and like Paulie got together and they were like, "Yo, we're gonna get paid as long as the loop trolley runs 800 miles a year."
Yep.
And like I
I
feel like
would-
there's a bare minimum they have to meet in order to get some contractual obligation.
Yup.
or else it wouldn't even.
I would also like to clarify, I'm not shitting on public transportation in any way during a pandemic. This loop trolley covers like literally a 2-mile stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not
It's
even.
It's the most
completely
useless-
useless.
You
You
can
can
walk
take,
it.
you can walk it.
Not
You
only
can take
can
actual.
you walk it, it's a stretch that you should be walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's
all
not a
kinds of
stretch that you
It's
stuff.
like
should
Yeah.
be driving
2
down.
miles,
Unless
yeah.
you're going to one specific place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be
Um,
walked up and down and
Yeah.
explored.
It is a
ducking in and out of these
completely
little shops.
useless place
I
to
r-
cram people into
Yeah.
during a pandemic.
I really appreciate the Riverfront Times' tone in this article. Here's an excerpt from it. Not since the days of the Spanish flu have St. Louisans been able to clang about town in an old-timey streetcar while the threat of an airborne infectious disease lurks all around them. How nostalgic, how whimsical, how fun.
Oh my god.
That just goes to show how sick to death fucking everyone in St. Louis is of
Yeah.
this fucking trolley that just won't die.
And it definitely won't die, as evident even by our podcast, because we can't stop fucking talking
Yeah.
about
We're
this.
always
Because
updating
every time I
this.
see an article, I have to provide
gotta
the readers an
update.
update.
Dude, I feel like every update is like gold bars to be added to the loop trolley to add weight and stability. Like
Taxpayers cover all of it.
Yeah, it's like it's the Esplanade from Sopranos. It really is. It's like
I fucking
So I guess
I
it's
love
opened
the
back
trolley.
up, and they listed their safety measures that they're taking. Regular temperature checks. All trolley operators and passengers are required to wear a mask. All boarding will occur from the rear door, except for when a passenger requires the front door for wheelchair lift. All windows open, weather permitting. Pre-service and mid-service cleaning sanitation of the trolley passenger areas. Hand sanitizer locations installed. The RFT goes on to note that there is no word of whether social distancing will be a part of these new social.
it's literally
These new safety
impossible in a
measures.
fucking trolley.
Yes, there's no way to do
Also,
it.
I highly
No.
doubt most of that stuff's actually happening.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly.
The article concludes by saying, "Welcome back, Loop Trolley. Finally, some good news in these trying times."
You know, one
Which is
Fucking
so sarcastic.
love that.
one great move they could do to make it safer is just to remove it entirely.
yeah,
Yeah.
just get rid of it.
Yeah,
For
just
real.
it's
Rip out the
dangerous to
fucking
Pull out,
bike
tracks.
riders.
pull out the track,
Rip
out
and,
the tracks.
and concrete over it, and
And
let us all just get back to driving.
Just, I don't give a fuck. Just toss it in the Mississippi.
No one cares. No one fucking cares.
well, one of your
Just get rid of it.
One of
I'll
your
take
things
the-
about it before was they paid like $2 million
these
to a person
old-
or something
Yeah.
to redo it, and then they were just like, "Sorry, I'm not delivering."
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
you.
No,
Like-
that person that they paid a ton of fucking money to did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
restored vintage things as a hobby.
Yeah.
They also hit multiple vehicles when it was running.
multiple vehicles
all the
It's-
time.
And guess I feel
It's
like
It's been a
stalled
clusterfuck.
constantly.
Listen to the previous episodes for all the details of the Loop
It's a
Trolley, but
fucking
this is where it's
trolley.
at right now.
It's a piece of shit.
It's a
Yep.
free pandemic breeding machine right now.
Yeah.
And but who
Woo,
else?
let's go ride the trolley.
delicious.
Who else besides us is even talking about the travesty?
I feel
that
like-
is
The Riverfront Times.
Riverfront Times.
Right.
Yes.
Oh wait, what do you mean?
I-
This Riverfront Times article is well written.
They've been
It is.
They've been
No.
killing it lately.
Is this our
Dude.
last story?
Maybe it was an
This is our
article
last
that
story,
I sent
but
you.
the no, I can tell you the headline. It's called "Land of the Free," you cuck.
Yeah.
That was their most recent. That was their most recent headline, and it was about wearing masks.
Just stay home if you're too scared to wear a mask, snowflake.
That's the
Jesus
first line of it.
fucking
The
Christ.
RFT's been killing it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
be
they've
real.
been doing great.
good. They've been doing
But
good.
moving on to our last and
Can we-
final news story of the night that's not at all a news story and is just a post on Reddit that we have to talk about that everybody here has read. So this is posted on our relationship advice, which is a subreddit for relationship advice.
Aptly named, very aptly named.
Oh,
I'm not even
God.
going to say anything else. Okay, let's just read it. My, me, 25-year-old female, boyfriend, 25-year-old male, keeps asking me to invest in his soup tube business idea, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. That's the title of the post. So, I've been living with my boyfriend for about 7 months. 2 weeks ago, he sat me down and presented me a PowerPoint presentation with his business idea. I knew he'd been working on an idea, but he didn't want to tell me about it until it was finished. Based on his enthusiasm and prior seemingly intelligent nature, I thought maybe it'd be a pretty cool idea. Instead, he presented me to an idea about soup tubes. The idea, if you can call it that, is to construct a series of tubes throughout your city that leads to centralized soup kitchens for a monthly subscription. A customer can, this is a quote from him, subscribe to a tube of soup and a tube extension would be built off the nearest mainline tube and connected directly into the customer's apartment or home. Based on the subscription level, that would determine the quantity of soup a customer could pour and how many types of soup. The tubes are basically just the size of pipes like you might see under the sink, but he insisted that it must be called... He insisted that, quote, it must be called soup tube, not soup pipe. Tube just sings better. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. At first, I asked if he was crank yanking me or something, but he was completely sincere.
Crank yanking.
Obviously, the idea is completely insane. The notion that a city would authorize somebody to construct a series of tubes everywhere that can carry soup into homes is, of course, ludicrous. And even if such an initiative were approved, the cost for such an operation would be ridiculous. You would have to charge outrageous prices for customers to install and subscribe to a soup tube. And who would pay for such a service when canned soup costs like $1 or $2? Or you can buy soup from a restaurant for a few dollars. I explained these things as politely as I could, and he dismissed them all and said that, quote, tube-based soup delivery is the wave of the future.
That's my
He then asked
favorite
me how
line.
much I wanted to invest. I told him nothing. He looked absolutely heartbroken. Since then, almost every day he has asked again for me to invest and keeps trying to sell me on the idea. He's also doing the same thing to a lot of his friends, and it's starting to drive me up the wall. First, I'm at a loss of what to do and how he can believe such a stupid idea is worthwhile. Second, it is really goddamn annoying to be asked on a daily basis to invest in a system of soup tubes. And third, I'm concerned for his sanity. Other than his apparent obsession with this thought, he has shown no other signs.
Of insanity?
Yeah. I would like some advice as how I can reason with him or whether or not I should even continue this relationship. Too long, didn't read. My boyfriend wants me to invest in a business venture wherein tubes would deliver soup. Discuss.
Okay. She took the basic concerns even way too far. For one, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And okay,
Hold on. What if you had a soup heater in your basement?
Just
like you have a
It's
hot
like a water heater, but it's
Yeah, and it boiled it and made
ignoring
it
the
delicious
costs
and right
of
temperature.
constructing soup tubes everywhere, right?
The infrastructure
Let's just
alone, yeah.
pretend that a city could afford that.
It's
That would
okay?
be like
feasible.
$20,000 per home.
You get
Yeah.
one tube per apartment. Is that correct?
For multiple soups.
Okay, that's disgusting.
disgusting.
So let's say you get tomato soup. Then your tomato soup is residually inside of that
Yeah.
pipe for pretty much
Yeah, so you
forever.
get some
Forever.
broccoli cheddar with a little
Because
bit of tomato
soup
Yeah.
isn't something that
It's
just
not
like,
water.
Can you imagine how bad?
That's my fucking point. It's
how
not
fucking
water.
bad would these congealed residual soup tubes fucking
Also,
smell?
Guys, I just figured out how you solve all of these problems.
You just throw the idea in the trash.
No, this whole time we've been thinking it's like a hot water line, right?
Yeah.
What if it's like a bank pneumatic tube?
Still,
like-
same issue.
Right? No, but you get like a plastic capsule, and that capsule is full with 140-degree hot.
Why don't
Why
they?
wouldn't I just go buy soup at the
Yeah.
store? at
Or
that
okay,
point?
are you talking like,
Or, like, get it
Futurama
delivered.
style? They
Yeah.
just shoot you
Like
a
you got
scalding
a
hot
call
thing?
button, and you hit the call button, and you're like, Martha, send me clam chowder, and you
See,
get like a.
It sounds like this man is obsessed with the tube.
The tube.
Yeah.
But really,
A
if he
series
wants
of
if
tubes like
a
the internet.
subscription soup service is not that bad of an idea.
No. And
You-
it exists,
you know
I
they
guarantee
have
it.
they have those packages of soup that are just dried ingredients, and you just just do something
Yeah.
like that.
Or
right?
Yeah,
fuck,
that makes
you know
sense.
what?
Cost is much lower. It's not fucking disgusting.
Soup is one of those things
I love soup.
that you can
I don't eat
put
soup.
in
I
a
do not like
can,
soup.
right? And people can eat months later.
Yeah.
For like 85
So why
cents.
why do we need to have a fucking hot fresh soup
In
on
because
Infrastructure.
he says so.
I
and
do-
also, it's not going to be hot, and it's not going to be fresh.
Let's do a
Fresh, yeah.
four-person
and he
poll.
doesn't understand what soup kitchens are.
You like soup. You like soup. I don't. Okay,
I
so
don't.
already
Hold on.
50% of the people involved here would
Yeah.
just not be open
one-
to soup. Period.
Let's be clear. You just pointed to me and said I like soup.
You said you like soup.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well,
do you like soup or do you
let
not?
me clarify. I am not a huge soup fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am
yeah.
not a big soup fan.
You're
although,
wrong. Your
although
opinion is
I
wrong.
have come around to Campbell's home-style chunky
Look,
noodles.
soup's one of the greatest foods ever because you can make it.
I
in
love
any
broccoli
way.
cheddar,
Soup
and
is
I
like
like
a
tortilla
bone in
soup.
water that has been boiled.
I like
That's
tortilla
like-
soup. I like broccoli
Cereal
cheddar
is
soup.
soup.
I would like to talk
Do you
about.
like cereal?
Cereal
It's
is not
soup.
soup.
Yes, it is.
That's
It's breakfast
bullshit.
soup. It's breakfast
Get
soup.
your
How is it not?
conspiracies out of here.
That's
This is
coming
not
in
the
a little
time.
bit.
Explain
Okay.
to me how cereal
Well,
is
in that
not.
case, I
this
love
isn't the
soup. Fruity
discussion.
Pebbles is my favorite soup.
How do you
I love
explain
that
to me
shit.
how it's not soup?
I would like
Oh, it's not cooked.
to
into it.
circle back around.
Neither
the
is
soup
neither
tubes.
is what's that cold soup?
Paige, I'm sorry.
Gazpacho.
Yeah.
All soups
Yeah.
are cooked together, except gazpacho,
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know.
right?
Gazpacho.
But
Anyway.
every other soup is like, here's a bone and some fat and some other shit nobody would eat by
It's
itself,
gross,
and
gross,
water.
gross, gross.
and we're gonna-
What about
Anyway,
tomato soup?
This isn't down to the point
It's
of the
just tomato
soup
bones.
tubes, which Paige and I are trying
Yeah.
to cycle us back to.
I want to get back to soup tubes because I want to talk about something later in her comments and stuff where she's clarifying some stuff. She kind of talks about how he wants it to be like an affordable way for people to get
Soup.
food.
Yeah, like Bernie
Okay.
Sanders will personally come and put a
so
soup
like
tube in
at
your house.
first I thought maybe genuinely this guy was like a connection to a soup kitchen, like a chute or something that could deliver food.
Also
you
dumb
know?
as fuck.
Also dumb as fuck, but I gave
the
him
Metropolitan
I
Soup
gave him
Yeah.
Authority sent
way
it your
more
way.
credit for that.
Benefit
But
of
no,
the
I
doubt.
think he's literally taking soup kitchen in the most literal sense and thinks that literally all they serve is
Yeah, I want to
soup.
back up to something that I didn't actually see a lot in the Reddit comments. Is he says a series of tubes throughout our city that leads to centralized soup kitchens.
Yeah.
A soup kitchen.
Serves more than soup.
But a soup kitchen's like
not the Metropolitan Soup Kitchen.
isn't a soup
That's
kitchen
a mile under Manhattan and just sends stupid.
Let's look up the definition of soup kitchen. So
A soup kitchen is like a food pantry kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's not like a fucking soup restaurant.
No.
Yeah.
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 It's certainly
that
not a
you-
warehouse that you would have people
It's
making
certainly,
soups and putting them in tubes.
It's like a
and-
Buster Keaton video
Yeah.
or movie where people are like.
I feel
pulling
like
levers
it's
to
certainly
send
not a
soup to
place
the
where
right
people
parts
are
of
going to
town.
spend like upwards of $20,000, possibly more, to get a
Get a
fucking
fucking soup
series of
tube?
tubes to get soup delivered to you.
And also, so some people have been like, "How do you clean it?" Oh, well, of course you send like scalding hot water with bleach maybe mixed in it.
Yeah.
But then there's this like, "Oh, you better be home at 6 p.m. because your soup tube.
You gotta purge the.
You gotta purge the soup tube, otherwise you're gonna blow a hole in your wall."
And
And
also-
obviously, your domestic servant would handle this for you.
Let's going
Fucking-
back to that to cleaning it. You remember that Shake Shack article about them poisoning the cops or whatever?
yeah.
They left like a minor amount of bleach from the cleaning process in there, and it
Yeah.
got all of them sick.
Mhm.
Okay, so that now it's in
That-
all of these
and that's in
fucking
your soup,
tubes,
dude.
And now it's fine
citywide.
with soup tube.
And not to mention, who the fuck wants 10-mile long soup tubes going all the way? I mean, some cities are huge.
That's why we need
I
to
like-
imply. We
It's in
need
like
to imply.
St. Louis, where it's like probably 7-8 miles
Still not even feasible.
long
in St.
from
Louis.
you
Yeah.
know. No, but I'm saying like imagine New York.
But imagine
Imagine tubes
and
going
all
all the
you-
way up the Empire State
Imagine
Building to
getting-
somebody's
Yeah.
All you
office
need
up
is
there.
37,000 soup technicians.
Actually, but New
In the
York's
city to take
actually
care of the problem.
ideal for a soup tube because
They can follow the subway.
no,
route.
because in New
Liberals
York,
love soup.
in New York, you have so many people living in one building. It's not that expensive to just keep adding fucking tubes to one building. You know what's expensive is out in the rural areas, out in the
Getting a
boonies.
soup
Yeah.
tube out
How
there.
are you gonna get? We
Yep.
can't even get fucking doctors out in rural areas.
Can't
How are
even
we gonna
get
get
internet.
soup tubes?
Yeah.
Barely even get internet or
exactly.
cell service out there, and those things don't require
Yeah. Do
construction.
we really want to create
Mm-hmm.
the great soup divide of 2021?
All right, let's agree on one thing.
Mhm.
Cereal is soup, and
No, I
And
disagree.
this guy's a fucking idiot.
I feel
can
like
agree on
this
that.
entire Reddit thread shouldn't have even had all these details. It should have just been like, "Dear Reddit, I found out today my boyfriend is a fucking idiot. What do I do?"
One of my favorite lines is based on his enthusiasm and his prior seemingly intelligent nature.
And what makes it even worse is that he keeps coming back every single day asking her to invest.
Yeah, I couldn't handle
Please.
that. I couldn't handle that. At
Also,
all.
is it common to ask your spouse or I'm sorry,
to invest,
girlfriend to
no.
invest in something?
No, that's
No.
pretty much like a sign that you did everything wrong.
Yeah.
Up until
Yeah.
that point.
Yep,
And speaking of things that are wrong,
Cereal
cereal
is
as a
soup.
soup.
is
Oh,
wrong.
you want to make that point clear.
I want to circle back and say that I will accept that some cereals can be soups if they're left long enough to where they break down the same
Ew.
way that cooking would. So like
Gross.
say you got some
Like
shredded
congealed?
wheat,
Is oatmeal soup?
frosted
No. Oatmeal is
porridge.
oatmeal. It's a
Oatmeal,
porridge.
yeah.
Is porridge
Oatmeal's a
not soup?
porridge. Oh
No,
No.
it's a different thing.
guys.
That's
Okay.
why it's not called soup.
So cereal left long enough is not a soup. It's a porridge.
It's a porridge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot more like a porridge than it is a soup.
Now that we've
Connor's
definitively
Googling
closed
fucking
that.
stupid.
If you heat the oatmeal, I feel like if you heat the, oh no, that's wrong too.
Pop-Tarts
I was
are
gonna say if
right
you heat the oatmeal, then it's a soup. But no, but porridge is hot.
Yeah.
Have you
And it's
ever
not a
ate
soup.
oatmeal? Oatmeal's not served cold.
No, I hate oatmeal and I will never
It's
eat it.
served
Soup.
hot.
I like
yeah,
oatmeal.
I like oatmeal.
So you heat
Same here.
oatmeal always when you eat it.
This
I like
explains why I
breakfast
hate
soup a lot,
oatmeal.
too.
is
You've
because
just
it was
been
always
dumping
giving
the
me this, like,
packet in his mouth.
cold shit. That's-
Oh man, soup tubes.
Soup tubes.
Soup tube
Anybody-
delivery
anybody
is the
else?
wave of the
she
future.
should leave him if she
all I
hasn't
want to know
already.
is where do I send the check?
Yeah, where do I sign? I
I-
love so much his line where he's just like soup tube based tube based delivery is the thing of the future.
Yeah,
He's not
but
wrong.
to your
Nope.
point, you could easily like much cheaper. Like a person will just bring you a crock pot,
Yeah.
like an artisan
Yeah.
crock pot of soup.
Or honestly,
like-
just cans delivered to you every month. There
Yeah.
you go.
Much
Perfect.
better idea.
Or
Yeah.
just those bags of dried ingredients, and they can
Yeah.
make it themselves.
Or for
You
like
don't-
$1, somebody will just throw a can
Shit,
at you
dude.
from their car,
Yeah.
like a Campbell's like
we don't
tomato
even need to
soup
see
can.
dried ingredients. People, there's things like HelloFresh, Blue Apron.
Yeah,
you
those
just
all
send fresh
exist.
soup ingredients monthly.
Yeah.
That's less dumb
Yeah.
than a tube of fucking soup.
When
But
they
you know what
talk
takes a
about
lot less
Not
work
a
is
soup
just
pipe
opening the
specifically.
soup hatch and like
Yeah.
letting
Yeah,
it
no.
fall into your bucket.
Let's
I
just be
just-
clear. It's not a soup pipe.
It's a,
a soup
tube.
tube.
But the pneumatic tube question is a good thought. Maybe that's what he was thinking of.
Then why would you have to send scalding, boiling bleach water through?
Oh, was
it?
that something that guy came up
Yeah.
with, or that
Oh,
Dan
okay.
came
No,
up
no,
with?
no, no. That's a comment.
Oh, yeah,
She
then-
answers some questions. So I can't help but imagine every single time he talks about sending the scalding boiling water that like your dementia-addled nana is like in the kitchen at 2 a.m. just like, oh, what's
Oh my
this?
God.
And then
So-
just gets
Like,
blasted
what-
in the
what
face.
Like a
with
child
scalding
opening the soup
bleach
tube
water.
over their face and it just melts off because
Look
the
at
soup's
that.
170
So I just threw something up on the screen.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
clarify though. So this is not made by
The person,
the person. This is
Someone
a
in the Reddit
a
thread
Redditor
made
commenter
this.
made this website souptube.online.
And it's amazing.
I love this fucking website. It's
Wave of the future.
how would you describe what you're looking at right now on this website? Because I couldn't describe another website.
It's very like vaporwave colors,
Mhm,
like
yeah.
pinks and blues and purpley.
And there's like a cartoon of fucking
like a-
soup going
Looks
through
like
its
soup
brain.
going through
It's
tubes.
It's like Adult Swimish.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Wave of the future, soup tube, asterisk, definitely not soup pipe, that has no zing. Subscribe today for a tube extension into your home. So we can go into frequently asked questions. How do you clean tubes? At 2 to 3 a.m. every night, boiling hot water with food-safe detergent is flushed through the pipes, so they're shiny and clean for the next day's soup.
So
These
if-
are all from questions that she's answered.
If
Are these
it-
people
Yeah.
eating
Too.
soup every single I like soup, but I don't need
How
it
much
every
fucking
single
soup
day.
can you eat?
This
Yeah.
this only works in a dystopia where the only food is soup and
Yeah.
the government provides it to you. Like that's
Yeah.
But you know, if there was ever a time in the day where I want a tube in the wall to give me soup, it's 2 to 5 a.m.
How did
Like that's the
How did Soup Tube pass safety inspections with an underground series of unrefrigerated tubes? It's 2020. We have Trump, coronavirus, ravaging climate change, devastating wars in Yemen, Syria, and across the world, police killing law-abiding citizens. Why not Soup Tube?
Holy shit! I need to get my checkbook.
This is a campaign genius.
Would you trust clam chowder from a tube?
No.
No answer
No.
to that. There's no answer to that on the website either.
I would not at all.
Why in a world of 5 competing food delivery services would somebody pay real money to have lukewarm soup pushed through the remnants of other soups from previous soup mishaps in a style similar to raw sewage? That's the question. The answer? What do you mean?
the right answer on their part would have been, who says it's lukewarm? This is hot soup.
But it's not going to be.
No.
That's the thing.
Does the soup
But this is why you need a hot soup heater in your house, like you have a hot water heater.
Doesn't the soup stagnate in the tubes? No, thanks to our cutting-edge, patent-pending soup tube technology. First of all, we strive to achieve perfect turbulent flow as part of a more uniform velocity gradient compared to laminar flow. Servings of soup are separated by distilled water so that they never mixed. We just keep them moving and divert single servings as needed. Secondly, with such a strange viscosity gradient profile, instability might arise at some point. A smart grid with traffic control is our answer. Finally, it's important to ensure that our pipes are extremely hydrophobic and how do you pronounce that word, Paige?
Taxily? I don't know.
Taxily growing
Graphene?
on the inner surface of the pipes.
So scratch everything I said about this costing $20,000.
Yeah.
This is gonna cost so much fucking more than that.
And each time you add a tube to somebody's home.
Also, can we talk about how he said that? Like, it sounds like the soup will perpetually be moving through the tubes. He said you just direct it as needed.
He also
off.
said
So
that-
is there like literally clam chowder that's been in the fucking tubes for like
I'll
a
tell you,
month
you're
that
gonna
they're
have to-
just
yeah.
constantly rerouting?
You're gonna have to hire a guy who's
You're gonna
just
fucking
like,
month-old
no, like,
soup.
patches.
And he also said that the types of soups will be separated by distilled water. So I'm imagining, let's cut out like
Watered
a
down
3-foot
fucking-
section of that tube, right? You have a foot of chicken noodle or whatever the hell you want, and then a foot of distilled water.
It just comes out as a log.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
then a foot of, I don't know, chowder, some kind of chowder.
It's
There's a-
definitely
there's
how
a
it works,
bunch
and
of
they won't
frequent-
and
mix
then
it
it just
all.
dumps out at once.
Oh shit, guys! Hold on. Maybe what you do, right, is that comes out, but what you're expected to do is have boiling water, right? And you
guess.
cut off a section of the chicken noodle and you put it in the boiling water of your own.
You cut off
And it's like
a section of it. Is this like
Chris has
solidified?
never ate fucking soup or porridge or cereal. It's been confirmed on the podcast today.
I'm imagining
3
it-
things
it's
Chris has
coming
never
out-
ate. If it's liquidy, it doesn't go in his mouth.
Have you ever seen the videos of those people taking like cans of refried beans and opening them up and putting them on top of skillets? And it gets real warm, and then the beans just start rising out.
I've
in
never
solid
seen what you're
form.
talking about, but I imagine
No.
like the snake firework.
That's
yeah,
exactly
imagine something like that. Imagine the soup just slowly coming out. You
Like
take
a-
a knife
wait,
and
wait.
chop
Wait,
off the
slowly
slab.
That's what I'm
coming
saying.
out like what?
Like somebody's ass.
Yeah, that's
Just say it. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what everybody
No.
said.
that's
but-
horrifying.
And you just take a knife and
Cut off
cut
the
off a
fucking
slab
broccoli.
of broccoli cheddar
That's
soup.
so fucking gross. It's
So
fucking
there's
gross.
so many frequently asked questions on here. We definitely don't have time to go through all
You
of them.
should read them.
I'm
Um,
picturing it's just a hole in your wall.
It's
that,
like-
a cylinder
read that
of
quote.
freeze
I know.
dried soup comes out of.
I
right?
hate it.
And then when that falls out, if you don't catch it in time, then the hot water and detergents come
You mean
through.
when that just like poops out of your butt?
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
So
that's
you
how
have
it's
to
gonna come
catch
out.
it and move it out of the
But
way
you-
in
you-
time
you
before
have
the
a-
detergent.
You have a
cleaning
6-inch
starts.
diameter hole in your kitchen wall with like a
That
sink in
just
front of it.
shits
That just
solid
shits-
soup.
It just shits
out of your
post-dystopian soup
kitchen.
out to you that you gotta. If you're not there when it happens, but guess what? You'll be there
That's
when
not-
it happens because you don't have a job in the
That's
dystopia.
not post
There are no
dystopian.
jobs.
That is dystopian.
So
Yeah.
there's
Holy
like I
shit.
said, there's all kinds of frequently asked questions on here. We don't have time to read them all, but and again, I want to reiterate that this is a fan website, not like an official website that her boyfriend made. But there is a tab that says Soup Scribe. And at the top it says it goes on to list Soup Tube is a series of tubes throughout all major cities in the world that leads to centralized soup kitchens. For a monthly subscription, you can subscribe to a tube of soup. A tube extension will be built off the nearest main line and tube directly into your apartment or home. And it says after that, quote, "It's like a soup camelback, but one I don't have to wear." Michael Zdat.
Click the invest button. Does that do anything?
There's
Yeah.
also an invest tab.
Yeah, what happens when we click that?
Oh, it's taking me to another website. Oh, it's got fucking
oh, that's
merch.
awesome.
Damn.
We can get some
I like that. Why
They
would you
have
trust
surgical
clam chowder
masks
from
with
a
the
tube?
poop or not poop
Clam
tube.
chowder.
it's not
Basically
a poop
that.
The soup
tube.
tube.
Tube. Why would the world trust a clam chowder, or why would the world? Who in the world would trust clam chowder from a tube?
Guys,
of
that's
soup?
only like $1 more than a mask that doesn't say that.
It's $15.
I know, though
That's
they're
insane.
expensive now.
I don't know. Listen, I can sell some fucking face mask merch. We'll get the dinosaurs built the pyramids on there and everything. Anyway, let's close
Then
this.
do it.
Let's close this.
Okay.
Guys, that's
Soup
it. We're done
tube-
talking about soup tubes, right?
Tube-based delivery is the thing of the future.
No fucking doubt, right?
Yep.
Nobody has any doubts there.
Yep.
Sign me up as soon as possible. So that's it. That's all for our news stories, which I know we didn't end on an actual news story, but now we're moving on to our next segment. Before we move on to Connor's Conspiracy Corner, this week known as,
Connor's Cryptid Corner.
we're going to move on to our 1-star reviews, which has moved from Google 1-star reviews to just 1-star reviews because
Just
we're
anywhere.
out of it's a lot easier.
I love
It's a
these.
lot easier. So some of these, so now we're not going to be naming just places. These can be products. These can be things.
Planets,
Ooh.
asteroids,
Planets,
Yeah.
asteroids.
star systems.
Cool, cool.
There's a lot of options. So let's start with this very first one. That's going to be very easy. You don't have to name the specific place. Just name the facility. So let's go over the rules real quick before we do read it. It's a game show.
Okay.
Nobody wins any prizes.
Okay.
Whoever
Damn it, I'm leaving.
Whoever is able to name the place, object, thing, whatever I'm looking for the right answer, whoever's able to name what the 1-star review is describing gets a point. We're going to be reading 1-star reviews from various places. Here's the first one. They kicked me out for putting dank memes on my assignments, and I am deeply offended.
School.
It's got to be
I want
a
more
college.
detail.
High school.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
Yay. I didn't expect you to get that right.
Is that
It's
McNugget?
such a hard
Why?
one. No, I'm joking. No. Yeah, so that's a high school. I just thought it was a funny little one. So we're going to start off with that.
Cement.
Now we're going to be naming, don't look at my screen, okay?
Okay, I'm not.
Now we're going to be naming a specific
I need to
title. I'll
read
let
this,
you
you
know,
know.
this is a movie. You can read it up there. So this is from Amazon. I don't like the title. That's the title of the review. This is a great movie and all, but why is it called blank? They should have called it Cold or something.
Fargo.
Frozen.
Frozen, yeah.
Oh, that's Paige again, dude.
Yeah.
That's 2 in a row for Paige.
Frozen, is that old?
Why don't they like the
2014?
name
Oh
of
yeah,
it?
it's like
Who has a problem with
And
the
are
name
they saying they
Frozen?
should
Why
have
would you
called
call
it-
it cold?
No, I think they're
That's
saying
worse.
They're going for
I think
irony.
they're saying they should have called it Cold or something.
Like the full thing
Yeah,
cold or
yeah.
something? Genius.
This review I thought was one of the funniest. This is an Amazon review. They are criminals, but nobody deserves to be hitting the brick or hitting the head over and over again by a brick.
What are we
Home
even
Alone.
naming?
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, yes, you're naming the movie.
I didn't know what the
I should
fuck
have
that
specified.
was.
There was 2 movie ones in a row.
That's awesome.
It's 1 star.
Let's see.
That's why I didn't like Home Alone.
Wow,
They were,
these are going
they
real
were
quick.
bad parents.
Yeah.
So Chris has
True.
1 point. Paige has 2. We have 2 questions
So I'm
remaining.
winning. That's the way I do math.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You should say they have 1
All right.
star.
It's
or
on.
2 stars.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Here's the next one. This is a Yelp review. I've never stayed here, but this is in my neighborhood. A friend of mine died in one of the rooms here in May. If you're going to make an effort to stay somewhere here in Hollywood / Los Angeles, try to pick a place that at least doesn't feel like somebody died in your room. This is also a pretty big drug neighborhood, hence all the street barricades making it impossible to drive straight down Yucca. Shell out some extra bucks for a real hotel or look on Airbnb.
Is this a fucking like hospital?
I want you to name exactly what this is.
Is it a motel?
Is it the album Hotel
Motel 8?
California?
It is not Motel 8.
I don't know. I was going
I
real
don't know.
meta there, I guess. So it's a
I want you to name what it is, exactly what it is.
It's not a
By
hospital.
Name brand.
Cedar Sinai.
is it like a
What?
Shell
It's a
gas
hospital
station?
in LA.
Is it like a Quick Trip?
No, it's Connor's right.
It's Motel 7. What other
Motel
motels?
6?
are
Oh,
there?
66. 88?
973.
You know, it's funny that I'm going to give Connor the
Holiday
point
Inn?
Why?
because it's funny that you say Motel 7. I accidentally typed the wrong button when I saved this file and it says Motel 7, but the answer is actually Motel 6.
I don't know any other
Awfully
motels.
suspicious.
I was
That's
going Motel.
Awfully suspicious
No, no,
that
no,
Connor
no,
guessed
no, no,
Motel
no, no.
7
I was
when
going
it's a
down.
typo on my laptop.
I started at Motel 8, and then I went to Motel
There's
7.
Super 8 and Motel 6.
I think we all went through the same thing where we were like, I know there's a motel.
There's
that
a
has
number.
serious
There's a
numbers.
number,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's Connor. Connor gets the point. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, holy cow.
Connor and Chris are tied. Paige has
1
got
star.
2. We can tie it up. One of you can tie it up and both get the no prize.
Is this our last one?
This is our last one. I think you're never going to
Ew.
guess what this is, and I want exactly what it is. I tried breathing, but for some reason I died. Oh wait. Oh shit. What is it doing
It's scrolling because you're
We're dying.
scrolling.
with this? I tried breathing, but for some reason I died. Please fix it soon. 1 star. 5 likes.
I
What the
tried
fuck?
breating, but for some reason
Think about
I
it, guys.
died.
This is
it's
like
a video
charging
game, but what is
phone.
it?
It's a phone thing. No? Okay.
I tried breathing.
Phone charging thing? No.
Is this?
Can I ask why you think that?
Because I feel like they meant I tried charging, but for some reason I died, meaning that their phone died. And instead of breathing, they mistyped charging.
Yeah. That's a bad guess.
Thanks for listening. Such a detailed response on a thing you knew
Is it a
was
video
going
game?
nowhere.
It is not a video game. It's a place.
It's a place?
Oh,
Kind of, I guess.
Hell?
Ozzie Smith's
Is it one of
Discovery
those?
Zone.
Is it one of those skydiving tube things that you go
Listen,
in?
I'll say that I didn't like a soup
Oh.
tube skydiving.
Like
thing.
a soup
Yeah.
tube?
No, so I didn't even know you could write a review for this.
Please
Is
fix
this
it soon.
the ocean?
You're on
Space.
the very
Oh,
much
is
the
it
right track.
space?
Is it
No, it's not a lake. I want
The river?
Specific name. The
Pacific Ocean.
Ding, ding, ding,
I don't
Damn.
even
Chris! This
get
is a
it.
review for the Pacific
What
Ocean.
the fuck?
I don't even get it.
I don't either.
Because you can't breathe underwater.
But then they died. Please fix it soon.
Please fix it soon.
Chris.
I'm pretty proud of myself for getting that
Yeah,
one.
dude, that was a
That
good
was
one.
good.
And that's
That
it.
was good.
Connor and Paige. I mean, Chris and Connor. I mean,
Chris
Chris
and
and Paige.
You had 3 options. You got them all wrong.
Third time's the
Anyway,
charm.
Dan and Chris, you guys tie. No, but you guys tie for nothing.
Thanks.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm
Good
super
job,
proud
dog.
of you. Yay, let's do another clap.
Woo!
Yes, clap for me.
Good job.
Adore me, internet and
so,
friends.
So proud of you. But anyway, that wraps up everything I got this evening. But I know we're not done yet because we still have to move on to Connor's Conspiracy Corner.
Cryptid corner.
There we go. What do you got to tell us this week? Month? Year?
Decade.
Epoch.
Mm,
That's the thing, right? That's
Yep.
a measurement of time. All right. Just wanna make
Eon.
sure.
you got it.
On the evening of June 25th, 1973, 2 young people heard the chilling, unearthly scream of some creature in the woods along the big, muddy river south of Murfreesboro, Illinois.
Murphy's?
Yeah, it's Murfrees.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb as fuck. Sitting in a car in a remote parking lot from which fishermen often launched their boats, the couple then saw something moving closer in the woods. They'd later describe it as a 7-foot-tall creature on 2 legs, covered with mud-matted light hair. It continued to emit its screams. I'd like to know what it sounds like.
I know, right? What are these screams? Yeah.
It continued to emit its screams as it closed in on the car. 19-year-old Randy Needham started up the car and
Needham
sped
can't have
straight to the Murfreesboro. That's a really hard word to
Yeah.
say. Murfreesboro Police Department. He and Judy Johnson told police what they'd seen. Accompanied by then Police Chief Ron Monwaring and other officers, Needham returned to the parking lot. Search got underway with lights, but all that could be found were vague footprints. At 2 a.m., the police were back, and with them, surprisingly, was Needham. As the beams, flashlights, that's a weird word to say. As the flashlights probed the parking lot and trees, there was a sudden, bellowing scream from the dark forest. Everyone ran for the parking lot, where Needham identified the scream as the same as what he and Johnson had heard earlier. Then, the encounter marked the arrival of the big, muddy monster, presumably a Bigfoot variant, in quiet Murfreesboro in 1973. Over the following weeks, more reports flowed in. So that's a description of
So
the
it's
first
like-
encounter. We're going to be doing a Missouri and surrounding areas cryptid
Which is
episode
where we're from.
The
segment.
bystander.
So hang on, he's kind of like a Bigfoot, except he doesn't live in the woods. He like crawls out of the swamps of the
So-
muddy ass Mississippi. Is that what it is?
Essentially, I'm going to read a little bit more of a description here. The creature was tall, white-haired, and he stunk. And he was also caked with mud, screamed occasionally.
This is just like a
Just
like a
like your
mentally
cat in the morning is like,
unwell.
My cat does scream occasionally.
Like-
Yeah.
and was
For
first
sure.
spotted on the outskirts of Murfreesboro, Illinois, near the Big Muddy River, hence the Big Muddy Monster. A series of sightings in 1973 set off a media frenzy, and several more people reported sightings in the following years. A lot of things in life are unexplained, Toby Berger, then the police chief.
Toby
Okay, but
Berger?
what's interesting is that it
I
says
would
that
love a Toby burger.
from
right
this
now.
article, it says
Sounds
that
good.
this man, Toby Berger,
I
is
would
the
eat him
police
right
chief
now.
at the time. But then in this one, it says that then police chief Ron Monwaring.
Yeah, people
Ooh.
change
So,
names.
Yep.
I don't know if maybe this was 1973 and the other one was a different year or something.
Like
but,
Don Draper. He wasn't born
Yeah,
Don
so-
Draper.
a lot of things in life are unexplained. And this is another one. We don't know what the creature is, but we do believe what these people saw was real. We have tracked it, and the dog's got a definite scent.
Then what happened then?
Defiant.
Like
There were a few other sightings of the big muddy monster and his screams. It says
and
that
his scream.
the
I
day
hate
after
seeing his screams.
the day after
This
the
screams,
initial
"I'm muddy."
encounter,
I saw it.
the day after the initial encounter, police dispatched a German Shepherd to pick up the trail after a woman called reporting a sighting. She told police her daughter and boyfriend had seen the creature in a field behind their house. The dog picked up the trail and followed it to a barn, which he refused to enter. I read they have an actual police report that you can read, and I was reading about it, and the police, along with several typos, wrote that this dog was like one of their best dogs. Never refused to. He was trained to search buildings and other things like that. Never backed down from anything that they ever experienced, and he wouldn't go in this barn for whatever reason.
So why didn't the cops go in with their guns?
So they did.
Oh, okay.
It says police, but they only have flashlights. Police with flashlights entered the barn,
What kind
but
of fucking
found
cops
nothing.
are these?
The ones in ET.
So it says, for what it was worth, the police now had a better, if still sketchy, description. 7 to 8 feet tall, 300 to 350 pounds, pale dirty white or cream colored, and standing on 2 feet. And
I feel offended.
caked in mud still.
Who sees a Bigfoot and they're like, you know what? I'm guessing he was like 325 to 350.
Slender definitely would hit it.
So then we've got days past. So that original one was on June 25th. Then the second one from the barn was June 26th. And then on July 7th, another report came from a carnival owner at Riverside Park on the south edge of town, which is also on the banks of the Big Muddy River.
Yeah.
Where's
A
the
tall,
Big
hairy,
Muddy?
somewhere in Murphy.
Come on, you live in Missouri and you should know.
I don't know.
It's the Big Muddy one, Chris.
Huh?
Come on, dude.
It's the
not the
Mississippi.
Mississippi River. I hear Big Muddy and I think
Is it?
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Is that what they mean?
Yeah, the Big Muddy's the Mississippi, right?
Oh.
Okay, good.
Well, that makes that
Okay,
makes
go
way
ahead.
more
Continue.
sense. Okay, a tall, hairy creature had been bothering the carnival ponies the day before. The carnival owner told police, in order not to disturb customers, he had kept quiet until the next evening to report it. Several workers noticed the ponies trying to break loose from the trees to which they had been tethered. The creature was seen observing the disturbed ponies from nearby, but in a non-threatening manner, not manager.
What?
And
I
then
want to
they
see
gave-
your non-threatening manager.
You got a big, stinky, muddy albino ape that's just like watching.
Whoa,
from the tree
dude.
line, like,
This sounds offensive.
Upsetting.
they're
That's what they're
describing.
describing.
Don't describe.
Don't forget, he also screams and shit. I'm imagining it stuff like
Oh,
that.
God.
So basically, these were the only 3 sightings, from all I know,
Okay.
that all I've found of the Big Muddy Monster. And that town has nothing going for it, so now every single year the Big Muddy Monster features in their parade that they...
Hell yeah.
Of
What
course
else is
they
in town?
do. Good Lord.
But I just thought, apparently if you mention him in that area, everybody knows exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
Okay.
amazing.
And what
like,
areas?
Oh yeah.
So it looks
50
like
years ago, 3
just to
times people saw.
I was wrong.
interject real quick. The Big Muddy River is a river in southern Illinois that does join the Mississippi,
probably
just
why
south
it's
of
muddy.
Graham Tower.
Cool. Okay, now Dan, if you want to go to Discord and
Already
click
got it open.
on the first link, call number 1 that I sent you.
You
and
want me to play it
that.
before you read anything?
Yeah.
Chris, why are you drinking all my White Claw, dude?
Because I don't want to leave awkwardly in the middle of.
Yeah, but like, what if I want to drink my White Claw and then I don't want to leave awkwardly?
Well, that's the burden you pay as the proprietor of this establishment.
Yep.
Weird. It was at night. She was driving with her boyfriend, and they saw this like thing that was the size of a deer, but it had like a dog's or a wolf's face. And she said it really scared her. And then she was telling her friend, who also lives in the same area, about this. And her friend freaked out because she said she saw the same thing. And this is where you live.
Like in the Knicks area.
And he said that you saw something like that.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. It was, oh gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. It had an arched back, like it looked like it was a monkey kind of, but a lot bigger than a monkey. It had the body of a fox, and it had this tail that stuck up, probably, I don't know, a good 1.5 feet, and was curled backwards.
Oh
It
my.
was really weird.
Well, see, she said that it looked like a big fox also, but it was like the size of a deer, and she couldn't figure out what it was, and it scared the crap out of them.
Well, this thing wasn't as big as a deer. I mean, it was about the size of a fox, but it had a bigger body, and it was very oblong.
Probably come up to like the car window if it was standing there. You know,
Well,
like
that's
a,
Oh,
pretty neat.
definitely.
like a
Big
Great
foxes.
Dane, like one of those huge standard
Yeah,
poodles or
right.
Great Danes.
Yeah, it's about that size.
She
and
said it was
weirdest
that
thing
size.
was, it was running down the sidewalk like it was supposed to be there, and then it all of a sudden realized where it was, and then jetted off over to the woods.
So that's call number 1.
Yeah.
What the fuck
It-
is playing next?
It kept doing that.
They
every
described a
single time I was
large
listening to
dog.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that.
Like
That's
a
from,
Shiba Inu with a
Which is
curly
very
tail.
different than the.
Foch and McLean's Morning Buzz.
Oh, here's another call.
Do you want me to play call number 2
Yeah,
now?
play call number 2.
Okay.
These aren't so
Yeah,
funny.
this is Mike
what's
from
the funny
Kimberly
part comes
City.
next,
My
but-
wife and I were listening to this story, and we actually saw this thing late last summer down in Kimberly City twice. My son, who I just dropped off at school, described it exactly the same way with a kind of whitish blondish type fur, but the curly, everything matches. Park district rangers
like
were
the
called
same
on
guy.
several occasions because of that wildlife place that they had here, thinking it was a wolf. But it didn't match anything that they had described. But this is exactly, she said this morning, what they saw down here late last summer. They were just called twice because of the kids in the area. You know, parents were worried about this thing being out. It was something completely different. And they saw it on 2 different occasions in the same area.
Okay.
So that's the 2 calls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that sets the stage. All these people keep seeing this thing that comes to be named the Nixa Hellhound.
Yeah.
A giant dog, wolf, deer. One person said, it looked like a deer and a dog had a one-night stand, to be honest.
Oh, my God.
It sounds like a giant dog.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. But I've got I found a website, a Blogspot website, where people, it's solely dedicated to Nixa Hellhound. And there are several comments on there, and I picked out a few good ones that I think might be pretty interesting. So I'm going to read this one first, and I'm going to read them exactly as they were typed.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Randy from Nixa Mo, and I think I have seen this so-called Nixa Hellhound, but it was at my house, not on the road. I was telling my mom that I seen this dog-like thing that had a big tail and big ears, and it was about as tall as a doorknob.
Okay.
I was going to my garage to leave.
So it was about dick height.
I closed my garage. They keep saying garage instead of garage.
Yeah.
I closed my garage door and told my cousin that I had just saw a big animal, like way oversized German Shepherd. And so I told him to get to the car as fast as he could. And as I was telling my mom this, she mentioned a infamous Nixa Hellhound. So I got kind of scared that I actually seen it. Then I called my friend because I thought my mom was fooling with me, and he said he has heard of it on Power 96.5. And so I am now looking for the animal again. If I see it, I'll post ASAP. Then there's another comment that says, it sounds like a cardigan Welsh Corgi. Here's a link.
What? In what way does that sound like a corgi at all?
And they shared a link of a cardigan Welsh Corgi. Now
It just looks like a corgi.
Yeah.
Now this
It's
is
just a regular corgi.
now this is a
Here's
ride.
a picture of a cardigan Welsh corgi.
It looks like a corgi.
Oh fuck! If
It's
I can
just a
even pull it
normal
up.
ass corgi.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
normal
it's
ass
just a
corgi.
really normal corgi.
I can't even pull it up. Chris isn't even looking, so it doesn't matter.
Guys, it's a normal ass
It's a
corgi.
normal corgi.
It did this like it
Yeah,
sounds
you
like a
look at
Shiba Inu, if anything, with
Yeah.
a curly
aren't that
tail.
big. A corgi is a
No, corgis are very small.
That's what we're saying. Is
Yeah.
that no way? It sounds like a
Why
corgi.
can't I fucking drag this tab?
All right, now this comment,
It's a normal corgi.
There's your corgi.
it is fucking terrifying.
Your next comment.
All right, now this one's a little bit more of a ride than that one.
Oh, so we're on to our next cryptid.
No. This is the same. This
Okay.
is
This
the
is
same.
the
Nixa
Hellhound.
Those are the
Hellhound.
comments.
This is
The next comment.
I like this one a lot. We might have to have a little bit of a discussion about this one
Okay.
after it, but I'm going to read it once again exactly as it's written. Hi, all. I'm Tweety, one of the many Custer boys out of
Oh.
Christian County.
What's a Custer boy?
I
I
guess
don't want to
that's his
know.
last
I don't want to
name.
know.
I have a felt hat and I'm racist and carry guns. That's what a Custer boy sounds like.
It
Don't
is.
forget, one of the many Custer boys.
One of the many.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We are legion
Good.
here.
I live in Ozark. I have personally seen the hellhound myself, and so has my cousin. My story, a bit different than his, goes like this. A buddy of mine and myself were out in the garage late one night, close to midnight, when we heard what sounded like dog claws running on the concrete outside.
Probably
When we
was.
looked up, we saw a black
That sounds like a
flash.
Yellow Wolf rhyme. Dog claws running on the concrete.
That's so specific too.
When we looked up, we saw a black flash that looked like a really big dog. Looked mean as hell, and we heard the claws on the concrete only as long as we could see the sumbitch. My buddy, quote, with no insight on the matter, end quote, said it looked like a hell pig
What is a helping?
because it looked like a big feral hog. Now listen to this part.
Lucifer's hog.
My cousin was at his house with another family member, and they were discussing the Bible. My cousin took his toolbox and scratched the entire timeline of Jesus atop his toolbox after he'd finished, and they started to review it. They heard something busting ass along their fence, and they looked out and could make out a small, deer-sized, really tough-looking dog that ran along the fence line and just kind of disappeared. I don't know for sure that these were the hellhound, but sure sound like it. I'd like to see that sumbitch again to get a better eye at him.
I just want to talk about, I feel like the time for review is before you start etching something into your toolbox, not after.
I Googled.
Well, let's see, we had 0 AD and 1 AD.
I Googled the hell pig, and that's apparently at least a real thing. I throw a picture if you want to see it.
Yeah.
It looks like something
Oh,
from
These are
a
hell
shit.
pigs. They're maybe like a prehistoric thing.
Yeah.
They're giant and terrifying looking.
I would call that a hell pig for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think hell pig's an
Oh,
apt.
they're huge. They're like as tall as
description.
people.
Mhm.
They look like boars, but their
Here's some
heads
pictures
are
of it
more
next to people.
elongated, kind of like a wolf.
It's like an ugly fucking horse.
Ooh, I don't like
right?
What
That's
kind of horses are
I'm
you
saying,
fucking
that's what I'm
looking
saying.
at?
It's like the ugliest horse
It's about
you
as
can
tall
imagine.
as a doorknob.
Dude, it's a lot closer to a
But-
cow than a horse.
Tall
No,
as a
look at the height of
doorknob.
that. That's the height of a horse with a fucking pig face.
So you're basing horse-like on the 4 legs and being tall.
This looks nothing. It looks like a giant boar.
That's the next hellhound.
Yep.
That was nothing like a horse.
I'm not saying it looks like a horse.
It looks like a horse in the same
In
way
my
you look like a chimpanzee.
All right.
There's
Which
an
you don't.
illustration of one eating a sad
clarify.
pig.
I look more like I look as much like a chimp as that looks like a horse for sure.
No.
Yeah, I die.
Wait.
I would.
Yeah, no, that was my point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
But you
Does
don't
not
look like a
look like a
chimp.
horse.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
but
listen, none of what we're
I
saying
look more
matters.
like a chimp than I do a horse.
It's
though.
like horse size.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
All I was trying to say is it's like a horse.
It also looks like a
Yeah.
It also looks like a Hyundai Accord. If
Yeah.
you're going by that logic.
Yeah.
No.
Kind of has some moose features too.
Okay,
doesn't it?
so hell pig's real. Good to know.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so
Obviously,
to derail
Nick's
with
a
the hell
hellhound
pig.
is also real.
yeah, I think so too. But let's give a round of applause to Tweety.
Tweety, thank you, Tweety.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Custer
thank
boy.
you. Custer
Okay,
boy.
now, the final one, which is my favorite because we have an article from 1972 that the Post-Dispatch wrote,
Ooh.
and it's fucking it's a
Full of
different
gems.
it's a different world up there.
Oh.
So now this one takes place in Louisiana, Missouri, which is north of us, north of St. Louis.
Louisiana's a state, Connor.
Yes, but this is a city. Population
pronounced
nowadays is a little over
Louisiana.
3,000.
Okay.
Little over 3,000. Real
Okay.
small little town. So this little first section gives you a clip of what was going on during that summer. It says, "This summer reports of black bears in Missouri have made news from Eminence to Baldwin. In summer of 1972, a different creature was on our minds. Momo the monster was making front page news as he terrorized the good folks of Louisiana, Missouri. Here's our original reporting from the July 20th issue of Post-Dispatch." So I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then I'm going to start picking and choosing some quotes because it's a pretty long story. But the monster hunt on Marzolf Hill is just a monstrous joke, according to the non-believers. But nobody is going to get Edgar Harrison to believe that, or his wife Betty, or his daughter Doris, or his son Terry Keith, or Vivian Hutchins either.
Who's that?
People in
Who's
Louisiana.
Vivian Hutchins? But they listed everyone related to this one guy
I
and
know.
threw out whoever
Or my
Vivian
cousin
is.
Bobby Joe Lynn. Or my other cousin Jerry Leland.
Mrs. Betty Harrison, Hutchins' sister-in-law, and her 7 children have moved in with the Hutchins and his wife. Mrs. Harrison says she will never go back up there to the Harrison house on Allen Street at the foot of Marzolf Hill. Hutchins, 56 years old, was a service station attendant until he suffered a minor stroke. He lives on Georgia Street in town. He hasn't seen the monster, but he has heard it and smelled it too. The odor is worse than any old goat that you've ever smelled. Its growl is like a bear, but a bear doesn't run on 2 feet, which we do know that they do pretty
Yeah.
They
commonly.
totally do,
Yeah.
Run on 2 feet.
Absolutely.
Doris, 15, and Terry Keith, 8, saw the thing in their backyard, which leads into the woods on the hill. It was right by the tree, 6 or 7 feet tall, black and hairy. It stood like a man, but it didn't look like one to me. Doris saw the thing a week ago, last Tuesday afternoon. She was home watching the other Harrison children while her father was at work at the Department of Public Works, and her mother was at the cafe the Harrisons had been running on Main Street. Terry and Wally Paul, he's 5 years old.
Wally Paul.
We're out,
Wall.
we're out in the back with Chubby, the dog.
Okay.
When I heard Terry start screaming, I looked out the bathroom window and saw it. I started crying and ran into the other room to call Mom on the telephone, and then she and Dad came on home. You left out a part, Mrs. Harrison interrupted her daughter. You forgot to tell how Terry Keith's face was so white when he got in the house you couldn't see a freckle. I guess. Then it says that Terry Keith was red-haired with a considerable number of freckles.
I'm glad they added that detail.
I love the name Terry Keith. Hey, Terry Keith!
I know.
Get away from the burn pit. You're going to hurt yourself.
Wally Paul.
So, ever since that Tuesday night, Shelby Ward, the police chief, has had a bad time. Many a night he's been called out of bed to go up on the hill to investigate things people hear. Yesterday morning, Ward got about 24 men together and made 3 passes up that hill. We didn't find a thing. I hope that ends it. However, the search party wasn't back sitting in the shade on Clyde Estes' front stoop across from City Hall more than 20 minutes when a new report came in. Up at the restaurant, they're saying we didn't find any trace of that thing because it's got a big tail that swept away its footprints. Clark, a member of the fire department, had been on the hunt. When Doris Harrison said that thing was only 6 or 7 feet tall, she was contradicting other reports, which said the monster had grown to between 7 and 12 feet tall. So people are just making shit up.
Yeah.
Why? It was 300 feet tall
That's a
and a mile wide.
That's a pretty big difference,
Yeah.
too. 7 to 12 feet tall.
Glenn Walker, who drives a taxi cab in town, says the whole story is a lot of malarkey. You can put one word right here, and by the time it gets around the block, you've got a dictionary. That's a pretty cool statement, though. I think
That's clever.
To make. There are stories that the monster picked up a sports car and hauled it into a ditch.
There was a Mazda Miata, and it was just like, look at what I can
Is the
do.
monster a fucking tornado?
I have another funny quote that says, one man said the creature chased him off his porch. A teenage girl reported it outside her home, and another police officer said it picked up the back end of his small foreign car and then ran off.
What?
This monster only attacks compact cars and smaller.
It gets even crazier. Someone said they saw it crossing Highway 79 with a sheep or a dog or something in its mouth. And then the police chief said, I'm worried that people are going to go up to the hill with guns looking for this thing and someone's going to get shot. We've been up there and we're convinced there's nothing there now. We've got the hill barricaded off, but some kids will get up there at night. More than likely, that's how it all started anyway. Kids making some noise. So this he keeps telling people there's nothing up there.
Yeah.
But people keep freaking out so much that they've literally barricaded this hill off.
Well, I guess we'll use city resources to defend you from the imaginary monster.
Yeah.
As if a 12-foot tall monster is going to be stopped
I will
by
say
some
they've
barricades.
put so much more effort into this
I know.
than any other police force I can imagine that would take this serious.
Cones.
They did multiple searches, multiple sweeps. They put up barricades.
Then it says, there were maybe 100 people at City Hall when we got together for the hunt, and most of them had guns.
The hunt.
I was glad when Shelby held it, the police chief. I was glad when he held it to just law enforcement officers and members of the rescue squad. And then it says, we were all having our regular church meeting at my house. This deacon, Harrison, he's a deacon at a Pentecostal church there. He says, we were all having our regular church meeting at my house when we all heard it. It was kind of like a loud growling noise. We heard it 3 times. Then it seemed like it was hurt or something. It gave out a large yelp. Mrs. Harrison said, it sounded like a gorilla. That's what it is, a Bigfoot. I heard they've got one in California and up in Canada.
Gorilla, Bigfoot, more or less same thing.
Harrison has put out bait for the monster. Now I need help understanding this next part. Okay? Harrison has put out bait for the monster. He hung some fish from a tree and hung some ham skin on a limb. The bait hasn't been touched.
Yeah.
In addition, Harrison has tied his dog up there on the hill behind the house at night while I sit out there waiting.
Shit.
There's something up there. We
What
just
a
haven't
monster.
found it yet.
We need to call the cops and have them take away this fucking dog.
Cool, dude.
What a piece of shit.
Not only is he a piece of shit, and that's not cool. He's casting such a wide net. He might as well just add Hustler magazines and cigars to this list. Here's some fish and some ham skin and my dog and some porno and some nicotine.
Here's a pack of Marlboros.
What the fuck,
Here's a nice pair of
Harrison?
pants. And you know what? I'm going to just park a Toyota Celica over here as well.
In
Take
case
your
you
pick.
feel like moving the bumper around.
Let's see.
So the last little bit says some persons think that the Harrison children just saw a honey bear forced down toward town in search of water in Town Branch Creek. The weather has been hot and dry. That's why they think that. And others say the Harrisons probably just heard some kids fooling around with a tape recorder. The search served at least one purpose in an election year. 4 candidates for county sheriff were out showing their devotion to duty. But even that ended in failure for Jack Floyd, the police chief at nearby Bowling Green, who was one of the Democrats running for sheriff in the primary next year. I thought I'd get rid of some competition, said Floyd, but all I saw to shoot was a Republican. That's it. That's the story of the Momo, or Momo the monster.
I just
Momo
had to
the
verify really
monster.
quick. A honey bear is not a thing.
I was gonna say, is
That's
that
not a
a,
bear.
is
No.
that a black bear?
I had to look it up.
Is that
It
the thing
can
people
refer to
call
a
a
bunch
bear?
of different things,
Yeah.
but it
It
can
sounds
refer to
like
different
a
kinds.
Winnie the Pooh is what
It
they
does.
describe.
Yeah.
Like a small
Well, she's a brown
blonde bear with a
Yeah.
shirt
She's
on.
adorable too.
So that's a look into some of the
So my
cryptids
takeaway-
of
the psyche of the Missourians.
My biggest takeaway is fuck
frightening.
Harrison.
Yeah,
For
right?
fucking tying his dog up. What a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
dude, that's actually the biggest takeaway
know.
from all of
yeah.
I know.
that.
That one didn't even do anything scary or mean. Like it sounded like it rearranged people's vehicles
Yeah.
and like walked around.
The dog
picked
is
up
like
that man's small foreign car.
Yeah, it didn't say he trashed it or even injured it or
No,
hurt it in any way.
It just said he
No,
picked
that's
up
what
the
I'm saying.
end
It's
of
like-
it and then
Yeah.
ran
Can
off.
we all be real? How hard is it to pick up a shitty Fiat? You know what I mean?
well, if you got 4 buddies, but that's
Yeah, and if
but
you're
the-
12 feet tall.
That's
it
what I'm
shouldn't
getting at.
be-
It's
Fucking
like
nothing.
he's putting his dog out. There was zero evidence that this animal wanted to eat your dog.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm
There
a
was a lot of
vegetarian.
evidence that the dog would move your Toyota Celica for you.
Yep.
Like why?
I eat cars, not dogs.
Yeah, like the dog is many steps removed from its established behavior.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like he was like, well, I'd eat a dog.
Yeah,
In the woods,
because
like-
Harrison's a piece
I'd
of shit.
Yeah.
I eat dogs.
He's
Momo
like,
should
yeah.
take the dog and
the
be
lotion in
dog
the fucking
friends with
basket.
it.
He's like, but this Harrison is like 2 steps away from being like, I guess I'll just like nail my wife to a stake.
Yeah.
No.
If it's gonna please,
Yeah.
if it's
If
gonna please the
Momo-
Momo
If
monster.
it drives Momo out of the shadows, you
Yep.
do
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
Gotta get it done.
Anyway, that's all we got.
Perfect.
That was amazing.
That was good. I think we had some really good news stories tonight. We
Yeah,
had some.
I think so
Some
too.
good discussions.
we got to expand the 1-star reviews outside of Google, and then the cryptics are always nice to have. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That was fun.
But anyway, Paige, you want to plug things?
I got nothing to plug.
Come on.
I'm not quite heroes. HEROES on everything. I have literally nothing upcoming, like projects or
No,
anything.
you don't. But
So I have nothing to plug.
you know, I feel like I could
keep an
offer.
eye out. I got a cool new T-shirt.
She's got some merch that she designed coming
Boom.
out.
This is
Yep.
more about forming good habits.
Which
Yep,
you can
If
find
you
yep,
at
yep.
have anything worth pitching, because you will in the future.
merch.danpearbig.com. That design's going to be up on there
Very soon.
very soon.
Very soon.
Connor, what about you?
Check me out on twitch.tv/LordOtterTTV. We're going live tomorrow for the first time in the new apartment.
Woo! Yeah, Connor
Oh,
moved. I don't know if
yeah.
I said that early on, but Connor moved. That's why
Yeah.
it's been a
New
little bit.
apartment.
I'm
Here's
now
his
about
address,
3
guys.
minutes
Yeah.
from Dan.
He's super close to me now. Yeah.
Maybe I'll stop in on a Thursday night sometime.
Ooh, you should.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Not telling
Just
anybody.
knock on the window.
Just show up.
Do it and sit in between me and Dan.
Yeah.
Knock on the window. We'll bust the AC out of the window, and then you
Yeah.
can climb on.
Please
in.
don't do that. I'll just let you in.
What
No,
about
that's a great like just kick that shit through and swing in.
Don't
like
destroy
fucking-
my
Like
apartment.
it's a Die Hard movie.
like a Rainbow Six?
Yep.
Twitter.
What is it again?
Lord Otter Games.
That's the one at
That's
Lord
his
Otter
Twitter.
Games.
Cool. Chris.
I'm Chris Bremer, otherwise known as Dank Spankle Never. That is my
Twitch.
Yeah, that's my Twitch handle, and I'll do stuff with it eventually because it sounds cool.
Fancy.
Like assault people. It sounds like.
No.
I'll
Just
do stuff
rearrange
with
their
it.
compact cars.
Don't never tell you how we get these scars. Yeah, it's a thing though. I'll do
That's
Dank
it.
Spankle stuff eventually.
I'll do dank spank
I'll
stuff.
play like Tetris and
Yeah,
cry.
cool.
Or
That's
something.
what
I
everybody
don't
And
know.
karate?
and
Yeah,
cry.
Oh,
yeah.
cry.
Tetris and karate sounds a lot better than what I said.
Yeah.
Let's pretend.
Tetris,
Tetris
and
and
cry,
karate.
the saddest game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm Dan Eggers. You can find me on Twitter at
Twitter.
DanPearBig.
Twitter.
I stream on Twitch, video games and whatnot, if you like to see that type of thing. We're streaming right now because we also stream the podcast there. You can find that at twitch.tv/DanPearBig. It's like Dan Bear Pig, but with a P, and it's PearBig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out if you want to see more episodes of the podcast. I mean, you're listening to it now, so subscribe on whatever you're listening to. Follow whatever your app calls it. Do it. And then also go to danpearbig.com/PearCast. It's all one word.
Do it.
No spaces in your link.
Mm-mm.
And then you'll find more episodes. We're also
Spaces
on
are for the
SoundCloud
weak.
and all that stuff. So, and there's merchandise. We have merchandise available for the podcast. So if you've listened to us and you heard our Dinosaurs Built the Pyramids episode or our Dead Chips saga with Don Marshall, you can find that at merch.danpearbig.com. But anyway, guys, we'll be joining you next month for episode 15. Same time, same place. Well, no, not at all. A month from now. Same cast and crew. You know, we'll be here. Chris maybe will learn how to mute his phone next time, so that'll be dope.
No, my mute switch is broken.
Oh no.
That's part of the reason
There's
I
no
bought a new phone.
Connor, you have an iPhone. There's definitely a way to mute your iPhone without the mute switch.
Yeah,
right?
but I gotta go in and like press down.
Just
a
to
bunch.
clarify,
Do things.
it's like 100% a way to mute your phone still.
I don't know if there is.
Your phone's just going off.
definitely is.
There definitely is. Anyway, guys, thanks for
Thanks for
listening.
hanging out, guys.
Peace out. Great talking to you.
We
Chris just dropped his
appreciate
phone.
you.
Great way to end it.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye,
bye,
everybody.
Don't give your dog to Momo.
Don't do it.
Nope, don't give your dog Momo
Bye, bye,
or
bye.
raisins.
Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits loop the loop. Gosh, oh gee, but I have fun following animals one by one. In every bowl of soup I see